Now, if you're looking for hundreds of beautifully illustrated monsters that you can use at your gaming table and at a fraction of the price of unpainted minis, the RPG Essentials Kickstarter offers exactly what you need. RPG Essentials offers a new perspective on fantasy gaming minis. These acrylic top-down tokens are durable, portable, and at a great price on Kickstarter right now. Each monster is illustrated from above, so they beautifully and seamlessly integrate into your RPG maps. Every illustration is painstakingly detailed by acclaimed fantasy illustrator Daryl T. Jones. Immersive and dynamic gameplay has never been easier. Bring every encounter to life. Enjoy more engaging and tactical combat. Fill your dungeons, forests, caves, and cities. You no longer have to use coins or buttons or M&Ms to represent creatures in your games. RPG Essentials has monsters for every adventure. All tokens have at least one variant available as well, such as different equipment or colors. They're beautifully... Oh, that's the wrong camera. Hey, that's the right camera. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the live stream. We're gonna have some fun today. We're gonna talk about the OGL. We're gonna talk about Wizards' handling of it, the leak, the debacle, how it threatens D&D, how like almost every single third-party publisher right now that has used the OGL version 1.0a is irate, pissed off, worked up, and ready to do some crazy stuff around here. So if you haven't been following the news, the D&D community is essentially burning. The mob has gathered, the torches and the pitchforks are out. We're gathered around the castle being Wizards of the Coast, and they have said nothing. The OGL came out talking about a lot of really horrible stuff, which I'm sure the OGL leak came out talking about all this horrible stuff, which I'm sure we're gonna get into over the course of this live stream. And Wizards says nothing. They've barricaded themselves in their castle, they've barred the gates, they've dropped the portcullis, and all that they have done, they put up a little tiny flag on Twitter that says, "We know you have questions, we'll be saying something soon." We don't have questions. When a mob gathers outside your castle, when the catapults and the trebuchets come out, we don't have questions. We have deep-seated concerns, worries about our beloved hobby, about what apparently Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast wants to do to our hobby. And we really want a solution. We want you to do something to save yourselves, because like I said, the mob is outside the castle and a lot of us are very pissed off. We are not liking what Wizards of the Coast has revealed to be their intentions regarding OGL version 1.0a. And yeah, and they're in the castle all barricaded up, and we've been sieging them now for a week exactly, because the leak came out on last Thursday. And the siege has been building up. Eventually, they're going to come out with a response. They're going to say something. We're probably going to talk about that today. We're going to speculate about what they might say, the way things might go, and all that sort of stuff. But first thing I want to say is that I am going to be approaching this subject from the point of view of first of all, a person who loves Dungeons & Dragons. I grew up reading Dungeons & Dragons books since middle school. I started playing Dungeons & Dragons in high school. I have been a game master for Dungeons & Dragons since high school, on and off at times, but always been a game master. For the last 4 years, I've devoted my YouTube channel to Dungeons & Dragons, to helping dungeon masters, giving them information and resources that's going to help them in their game. So I'm approaching it from that point of view, from the point of view of someone who loves the game, from the point of view of someone who's played the game for decades, from the point of view of someone who now produces content that helps people who play the game. And also, I am a publisher of D&D content. It's not actually officially D&D. It's just compatible with the 5th edition of the world's most popular role-playing game. But I am a publisher who uses the Open Gaming License version 1.0a in our publications. And so that is the point of view that I'm going to be approaching this entire topic from today. I am not an attorney. I'm not a legal expert. I'm not an expert on the OGL. I'm not an expert on any of these things. I have now retained outside counsel from an amazing law firm, actually a law firm that helped put in place the original OGL that we're going to talk about. And so I'm confident they're going to help us all through this. But anyway, that is the context. That is who I am. And that is like where I'm coming from, my point of view on all of these things. So some of the stuff that I might speculate on or that I might not be an expert on as we talk through this today, please take it with a grain of salt and just remember who I am and who I am not, right? And obviously I have opinions. I am very biased in certain ways. That is always a thing with anybody who says anything, obviously, but I want to get that all out of the way so you know where I'm coming from. So today's live stream is basically going to be, we're going to talk about this OGL debacle. We're going to talk about this. People can ask questions, throw them in the spreadsheet. This is a Q&A. I don't really have some sort of speech prepared for you or some sort of show. I really just want to talk about you guys. Frankly, honestly, I'll answer your questions. They can go, if you throw them in the chat, it's #question and then your question. By the way, moderators, if you have been putting questions into the sheet, I do not see them. I am in the 2023 spreadsheet, so I just want to make sure that we're all using the same spreadsheet here because I see nothing right now. But maybe that's because nobody's answered any questions. So that's what today we're going to do. Answer a bunch of questions about all of this stuff. I'm pretty worked up myself. I'm pretty upset about this whole thing. Now, if you're not familiar with what the OGL changes were, then, or what the leak contained, if you're not up to date on that, which is fine because not everybody will be, and this is something that's everybody's learning more and more about every day. I strongly recommend, for probably one of the very best recaps I have seen, go over to D&D Shorts channel. D&D Shorts, maybe moderators. Zach, I know you've watched that video, but D&D Shorts did an amazing recap of the OGL changes that Wizards of the Coast intends to put into effect and the consequences that they would have on people who want to keep publishing D&D material under the OGL version 1.1, the consequences they would have on the creators like me who create content for people who play Dungeons and Dragons. So if you want to see a beautiful recap, his channel has the very best video. I think it's under 10 minutes too. Because a lot of these videos you watch when they're just like 3 hours long, but his recaps it beautifully. I'm sure we'll touch on some of the things today. I can give you a recap too since you're here. Basically, there's a couple things going on. First of all, Wizards, we currently have an OGL version 1.0a that we are publishing under and that many content creators publish under. Lots and lots and lots of big names, such as Cobalt Press. Paizo even includes it. So they want to basically unauthorize that version of the OGL, make it so that we cannot publish using it anymore and force us to go to version 1.1, which is what is the new one they're coming out with. And so they want to force us to 1.1. Otherwise, they're saying you just can't publish anything at all. Now, 1.1 does a lot of horrible things. Now, there are some things that one might argue isn't that big of a deal. And there are other things in it that are just complete showstoppers that it's a non-starter. No publisher in their right mind would agree to signing on with version 1.1. And some of the most horrible thing, just let's go out of the gate with the worst thing possible in it, is that they own whatever you publish under that license. If you publish something under license 1.1, they own your crap. They can basically take whatever you create, appropriate it, and use it however they want in their own publications. They could do an anthology and include your stuff and then make a bunch of money on it. They could put it on D&D Beyond if they want, make a bunch of money on it. They own your stuff, which honestly, it isn't surprising they would go for that move because in my personal, completely unbiased opinion, a lot of the third-party content that gets produced for D&D is way better than official D&D products. Look at some of the stuff Cobalt Press comes out with. Tome of Beasts 1, 2, and 3, Creature Codex. I have all of them on my shelf, by the way. I love Cobalt Press and the stuff they do. Their monsters are hands down leagues better than any of the monsters Wizards creates. And you could say the same for a lot of other third-party publishers that are creating content for Wizards of the Coast. It's just plain better than what Wizards creates themselves. Now, there are some things that Wizards makes that is amazing. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that everything Wizards does is horrible, because there are some products that are great. Eberron campaign setting is the gold standard in my opinion, of how a campaign setting should be published. I have that book, I'm using it, I'm about to run an Eberron campaign. It is amazing. There are other things they release that are flaming piles, and then there are other things that are kind of middle of the road. So they produce a wide variety of quality, Wizards does. But third-party publishers a lot of times create better stuff. And so it doesn't surprise me or shock me that Wizards would want to appropriate other people's content and use it themselves. Because hey, if other people are doing better work than we are, that one puts kind of egg in the face, gives us a bad name, but also why wouldn't we just want to take their stuff and use it? Because hey, money, right? And Hasbro did really poorly last year, and we now have a mandate to increase our revenue by 50% over the next 3 years. So hey, let's steal some people's work and publish it ourselves and make some more money. Zero effort on our end, more money. That's like the height of corporate sleaze, right? So it doesn't surprise me that they would want to pull a move like that. So that's probably the worst thing possible in that entire license, in my opinion, is they can take your stuff, all of your hard work, all of your sweat, tears, and blood, all of the capital money investment that you put into publishing your product. Wizards takes it. They take it. It's like the thief. It's like the Kender that comes up and takes all of your stuff. Like I'm literally starting to read the Dragonlance, the original 3 Dragonlance novels right now, written by Tracy Hickman and Margaret Weiss. I'm literally reading those right now. Every night before I go to bed, I read a little bit. Okay, and one of the main characters is a Kender, and he's like stealing stuff from his own companions, from the people that help him in combat, help him in battle. He's stealing a dagger from Flint, the dwarf, I believe it was, and he's using Flint's own dagger in combat, and then he's laughing about it. This is what Wizards is doing, okay? We as third-party publishers, as content creators, as D&D fans, have helped elevate their company over the last several decades. We have helped them grow. I have for 4 years now been giving them free publicity, helping dungeon masters that might have quit the game because it was too frustrating, and instead they become customers and buy Wizards of the Coast product because I help them and other people like me help them. We create resources and stuff. We are elevating Wizards of the Coast. We're helping them. And instead of thanking us, instead of being grateful, they're like the Kender that steals from their own party members and uses their dagger in combat. Or better yet, it's even worse than that. It's stealing the dagger from your party member and then stabbing them in the back completely. This is essentially what they're doing with this whole OGL 1.1 leak. So obviously I'm not holding back on my opinions on what they're doing. I'm very passionate about this. I'm very, very upset with what they're doing because it is a betrayal. It is an absolute betrayal. I was talking to one of my friends the other day. I won't say who he was, but he and I talk a lot. He is a large creator. He's not a super large creator on YouTube, but he's not small either. But he was basically telling me that he feels like he was betrayed. He feels like he was cheated on. He said that he was kind of comparing it to a marriage. And he's like, I feel like I was cheated on and betrayed. This feels like, fornication or something. That's how he felt. And he's an emotional dude. And he's saying, Luke, this is how I feel right now. Right? And I imagine a lot of people are feeling this way. Right? We have been betrayed. We've been stabbed in the back, right? By the company that we have helped over the course of how many decades, right? And this is a game we love, right? I bet everybody in chat right here, most of us, if you don't love D&D and the game D&D, you love one of the offshoots. One of these are role-playing games that have developed over the years, that D&D kind of helped kick off. But we love this game. We love this hobby. We are fans of this, right? We have been loyal and dedicated, right? For how long? And then this is how we get treated. And so, yeah, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. There's lots of people that are not happy. So there's the emotions, there's the raw stuff out there about that stuff. Okay, now, the other thing that I really hate about the 1.1 is the simple fact that they can cancel that license at any point in time. They can revoke that license with 30 days notice. So let's pretend that I do a Kickstarter that does $1 million. Holy crap, Luke did $1 million. That's great. Whee! I should say my team and I have a team that helps with all of this stuff. They're amazing and I could not do this without them. But let's pretend my team and I do a Kickstarter that's $1 million. It gets funded, I get the money and everything, and then all of a sudden Wizards comes and it's using their 1.1 license. Wizards comes along and says, hey Luke and team, good job. We are now revoking your license. You have 30 days notice. And then everything that you created, it's ours now. But thank you. And then that leaves us like up the creek without a paddle or something. But they can do this. They can revoke the license with 30 days notice, and they can do it for almost any reason. If you do something that they don't support as a company, if you say something or do something that they view as like bad conduct, for instance, they might revoke it at any point in time. Obviously, I would be probably in a bad position there because, you know, they could just not like me, or and then come up with some sort of, now that you can't probably revoke it because you don't like someone, but come on, they can come up with reasons. They can find some, if you dig hard enough, you will find dirt on anyone. And so this puts anybody that publishes under 1.1 in a very precarious position. You are at the mercy of that company. You're at the mercy of Wizards of the Coast. They don't revoke your license and then take all your crap. Or they could just take all your crap anyway and not revoke your license and say, hey, we're using all your stuff, but keep on creating for us. Thank you very much. So that's the other part of the license that's not spectacular at all. Now, the other part is the royalties. I'm on the fence about the royalties because honestly, I feel like there is a certain part of this that's reasonable for charging something in royalties, because we are creating, you know, revenue based upon on their intellectual property. So there's a point at which you say, yeah, okay, royalties, that's reasonable, right? To want to ask for royalties when you're using somebody else's IP, right? However, the amount of royalties is another question. The amount of royalties, because I can tell you, as someone who publishes in the third-party publishing for using OGL 1.0a, that the margin on our products is not very much. It's like slivers. It's just this tiny bit. And so like I said, I have an entire team. I have full-time team members. I have a core team. I have freelancers. We have cartographers. We have people that do interior layout and design. We have to pay for the cost of publishing books. There's lots of costs that go out there. Okay, lots and lots of costs to do Kickstarters, to do our monthly magazine, Lair magazine, that we publish every single month. There's lots of costs involved in this. The margins aren't super high. And then if you say that they're going to take 25% off the top. So if you make $750,000 or more, they're going to take 25% off the top. There's almost no reason for me to make more than that in a year, because if they take that off the top, my profits are just decimated, right? Decimated. And so I might as well not try to make more than that a year, because so that is a move to kill the large creators, to basically shutter their doors and kill their business by taking that huge of a royalty. And here's the other thing, that royalty can change any point in time. Remember, they can give 30 days notice to change the terms of the license. So let's pretend I do a Kickstarter for, like, you know, $5 million. Wizards of the Coast can come and say, hey, guess what? We're gonna change the terms of this license. We want 50%. Holy crap. Now I'm paying 50%. Or let's pretend that you don't make that much. You don't make $750,000 a year. Let's pretend that you only make $50,000 a year using OGL version 1.1. Well, guess what? Wizards and Hasbro might have a bad year. Things might continue to go down for them, which probably will, based upon what's going on right now in the D&D community. How many people are canceling their D&D Beyond subscriptions? How many people are refusing to buy any more of their products? So if they continue to have bad years, they might say, hey, you know what? We had a bad year, so we're going to revise the terms of this license. Now, if you make $50,000 or above with our license, you're going to owe us a royalty, and it's going to be 25% or 50%, or it could be even more. Who knows? They can change this at any point in time. You see why this is really bad? This puts anybody who agrees to this license in such a precarious position. Horrible precarious position. It's insane. Which leads us to the fact that there are now two big companies that have announced that they're going to be doing their own game systems. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. I do want to give some love to our sponsor for this video. Let's go over here. Okay, so you guys know that I only sponsor high quality crap. And I'll tell you what, I actually pledged to this Kickstarter this morning. This is RPG Essentials. This Kickstarter right here delivers like over 1,000 acrylic tokens for RPG games. So check these things out. These are crazy high quality tokens. These are made by the fantasy illustrator Daryl T. Jones.
And you can see right here, he does amazing work. These things are portable. Like I said, they're acrylic, so they're very durable. They're high quality. You get them wet, whatever. They're not going to get ruined. And they come. You can put them in little binders and folders and stuff. Take them to your games. Easy to transport, etc., etc., etc. And they're going to have tons of different monsters and tons of different sizes, like dragons, like all 10 different types of dragons and a bunch of different sizes and stuff. And they have goblins and, you know, probably all the standard fantasy stuff. They have heroes. They have villagers, hordes of zombies, skeletons, all that sort of stuff. This is really cool. I'm gonna pop over to their Kickstarter page right now. We're just gonna kind of see how they're doing. So you can see right here, I have pledged. You can see it literally on the screen. I have pledged this Kickstarter. I'm gonna get every single token they make. Now, I want to be a full disclaimer here. I do not pledge to every Kickstarter that I help promote. Okay, there are lots of Kickstarters that get done that I believe in, that I think are very high quality. And so I will promote things that I believe in and that I think are high quality. But I do not pledge to every Kickstarter that I promote. I only pledge to the Kickstarters that I think I will actually use myself. Okay, and this is one of those that I think I'm going to use, because I frequently go to conventions and run conventions. And I think that these, like I've talked about tactile tokens with you before, which I think are awesome as well. And these are along the similar lines where I can easily take these with me to conventions, or if I'm traveling somewhere and I want to play a D&D game, but I don't want to take all my miniatures with me, because I love miniatures. I am a fan of miniatures. I paint them. I love them. But these things right here have a very good place as well in my repertoire, in my tools and stuff as a game master. So I pledged, I backed these guys. So I just kind of want to be a full disclaimer though. And they're doing pretty well. They're over 100,000. So they're definitely going to fulfill. And like I said, this guy is amazing. Like the artwork is just spectacular on this. So if you think you might find these useful, go check them out in your games. Very cool. Okay. I had to give some love to our sponsor because that dude's awesome. I've helped him promote some of his other products before, Splattered Ink Games, and they produce really good stuff. Okay, I do want to talk about the two major publishers that have announced they're going to make their own game systems, and I have some specific thoughts around that. But I do want to go to the questions really quick, because I know I said I'd answer questions, and I have lots of people asking questions, so I really should do that. I will be hitting all of the super chats first, because, you know, I feel obligated. If you throw money, I'm gonna prioritize your question. I'm sorry for those who didn't super chat if you feel bad about that, but that's actually fair. All right, so the first one's from Jacob. Thank you, Jacob, for 100 something. I don't know what that denomination is, but I appreciate it. Considering this all would largely be a non-issue if third-party content producers released SRD-like documents for their publications, has this made you consider publishing under an open license? Oh, yes. Absolutely has made me consider publishing under an open license. In fact, I know some people in the industry right now that have already released their open license. They've already started putting out an SRD for a different system. I know too that there is a large group of major publishers that are on board as well with the thought of an OGL, an open OGL getting published. All right, I don't know. I have to be careful what I say because I'm not sure exactly what I'm allowed to say and stuff at this point, but what I can tell you is that there is a huge movement with lots of big names behind it and supporting it to create a truly open OGL that anybody can publish under. Now, as far as what the SRD is going to be and what the system is going to be, that's still out there being discussed. But this is all kind of rapidly developing and stuff, but I'm telling you, there are big names behind this movement to get a truly open OGL that's like established in like a trust or something where no company can later come and say, hey, just kidding, we're going to revoke this. So anyway, there's a big movement out there. I can't really say a whole lot because I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to say. So, but it's really exciting. And I'm following it. And like I said, big names that are involved in that. So it's very exciting. So yes, absolutely. My team and I are considering doing that. I think the writing is on the wall right now, folks. Even if Wizards of the Coast comes back and says, hey guys, just kidding. We have heard you. We have heard our community. We love D&D. You love D&D, and we deeply regret the damage that we have done to this beloved hobby, the concern that we have caused you, and we have been heavily weighing our options over the last week, and we are happy to announce that we will not be revoking or unauthorizing version 1.0a because we love you and because we support this community and because we want to support third-party publishers. We're not going to roll it back. We're not going to revoke it. People may continue to publish as they have been because we love D&D and we love our community. If they come and they say something like that, it's not going to change my mind. It's not going to change the minds of a lot of people because the writing is on the wall. Even if they decide to reverse course right now, we know it is in their heart. We know. 6 months from now, they could change their mind. They could start it all over again. They could develop an even stronger legal case. They could take more actions to better prepare themselves for this battle, which I suspect they didn't realize because it's taken them so long to respond. I suspect they got caught with their pants down and they didn't realize what kind of outrage this would create. Like, there are YouTube channels all over the place with like 12 million subs, just big YouTube channels out there that are talking about this, about how the horrible, sleazy corporate move that this has been. Like, it's crazy. So even if they roll a black, even if they decide they're not going to revoke it, I feel like the writing's on the wall, and anyone who is wise will read that writing and they will transition to a truly open game license and or system where their business cannot be jeopardized in the future, and they are not going to be threatened and bullied around by any company in the future. So I think the writing's on the wall. I think that a lot of people are already considering this. A lot of people are like, yeah, there's no choice. There's no choice at this point. Like, we know what the future holds, right? So yes, the answer is yes. Tyler Axel Rose, thank you for the $10 super chat, dude. They say 1.1 is a dumpster fire. It's more than a dumpster fire. It is a royal screw over. OGL version 1.1 is like, imagine if you have an enemy, right? Imagine if you have an enemy, right? And you just want to murderize this enemy, right? Well, a rational human being would just murderize your enemy, right? But sometimes you really want to make them suffer. You really want to screw them over. Yeah, that's version 1.1. Version 1.1 isn't just defeating your enemy in combat. It isn't just going forth nobly, and bravely defeating your enemy in combat. It's really making your enemy suffer, and it's not even making your enemy suffer. OGL version 1.1 is doing that to your best friend. The people that have trusted you and have helped you throughout your entire life. It's murderizing your best friend. It's making your best friend suffer. That's what OGL version 1.1 is really doing. It's way worse than, yeah, it's a complete dumpster fire. It's a betrayal of everything the D&D community has done for Wizards of the Coast, and it's completely unacceptable. All right, next, moving on to the next super chat. I gotta take deep breaths because I'm very upset right now. If you couldn't tell. Colton, thank you for the $20 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. They say, thank you for the work that you and other creators help us to learn the game and fill in the blanks that get left out of official content. We shall rally together. Thank you, Colton. And honestly, I'm starting to get emotional now. I've literally devoted the last 4 years of my life running this YouTube channel, helping dungeon masters, because, sometimes you just get frustrated and new dungeon masters might quit and stuff. I have had countless dungeon masters send me messages and say, thank you, Luke, for everything you do. I've had other dungeon masters say, Luke, I would have quit if it wasn't for what you do and what your team does. I would have quit if it wasn't for your videos that help to explain things, and for the resources, Lair magazine and other things that your team and you create. I would have quit if it wasn't for you, and so and it's just not just me. It's not just me. There are hundreds, of people doing the same thing, YouTube channels and people producing content. And we've been helping dungeon masters, we've been helping players, right? And we've been doing this. And I personally have been devoted myself to this for 4 years now, helping other dungeon masters in D&D and stuff. And I've had something of an impact on that, you know, and I know because people tell me that. And I'm happy to do that. I've loved doing that. It's my dream. I have my dream job right now, right? Helping other people, helping dungeon masters, creating this content. You know, it's beautiful. It's the best job I could ever ask for, you know. And now it's like the ultimate betrayal, you know. And so it really hurts. It's really hurts to know that this is what Wizards of the Coast thinks of us. And I want to clarify something too. I keep saying Wizards of the Coast, bad, corporate, greedy. I want to be very clear about something. Probably 99% of the people who work at Wizards of the Coast had no idea this was going to happen. No idea. This is probably taking the majority of employees at Wizards of the Coast by shock and surprise right now. They had no idea, I assure you. And they're probably as upset as we are. And this is the sad thing, because I 100% guarantee you that this thing that Wizards is doing is something somebody in the C-suite dreamed up. This is an executive decision. This is something that people in corporate executive C-suite, your CEO, your CFO, all these people with a bunch of like alphabet soup numbers and letters after their name. This is something the C-suite, people in suits, dreamed up. Right? This is not something these type of big moves probably didn't get shared with all of the Wizards of the Coast employees because they're afraid of people spilling the beans, obviously, which happened anyway. But so I do not blame the people. The majority of people who work at Wizards are innocent in this, I believe. I believe that they're much like you and I. They love the game. Many of the people working at Wizards of the Coast probably are like so excited to have their jobs and be creating content for D&D and getting paid to do it. It could very well be their dream jobs as well. And this is like the last thing they probably wanted. This is not what they imagined like the company they work for would do. The new executives from Microsoft, what is it, Cynthia Williams? Is that her name? The new executive, they wouldn't have dreamed of this, right? So I believe that the majority of people at Wizards of the Coast are completely innocent and they love this game and hobby, and they would have never wanted to do this. And right now they're like kind of like collateral damage. They're being harmed by this, and their livelihoods might be harmed by this because of what these greedy executives in suits decided to do in their corporate offices on the 4th floor or wherever it is they have their special floor. A lot of times executives have their entire floor that's just for them, you know. So I don't blame the rank and file at Wizards of the Coast. I think that they probably have the best of intentions and they love this game as much as we do. It's really the C-suite that is to blame for this, 100% guarantee you. And it's probably rolling down from Hasbro, would be my guess as well. Although I will say that I'm sure the C-suite at Wizards is probably complicit with it. They came from Microsoft. They're all coming from Microsoft. Do you think that they came from Microsoft because they love D&D? They came from Microsoft because they worked on, my understanding is, the Xbox stuff. And they're here to introduce microtransactions and to usher in the new digital age and make money. Like, they don't care about D&D. Do you think they care? Like, who in the world that cares about D&D would do what they're doing right now? No one. No one. Anybody who loves this hobby would not conceive of doing this. And so I'm convinced that it's the C-suite who is responsible. They came in from Microsoft. They had this plan, you know, to increase revenue, and this is what it was. And they don't really care about D&D. They're there for 3 years. Most people in executive positions are there for 3 years or so, and they move on. It's short-term thinking. We got to hit our metrics, hit our CPIs, hit our goals, get my conditional bonus at the end of the year for hitting them, which is usually in the millions of dollars. And then after 3 years, I'm going to move on to a different company anyway. So these people making the decisions, I assure you, do not love this game. They do not love this hobby. And they're really just thinking about what they were hired to do. I was hired to make money for this company. I better make that money, because if I, as an executive, make money for the company, I make money myself, right? And it looks good on my resume for 3 years from now when I hop to the next company, because that's what they do. So I just want to be very clear. I do not blame the rank and file at Wizards of the Coast. I think that they love this game and this hobby as much as we do, and they're probably innocent of this. It's the people in leadership at the seat, the executive level that I assure you they're doing this. And so all of my ire, frustration, and rage is directed toward them, not the ordinary people at Wizards of the Coast. I think that they love the game as much as we do, I'm sure, and they are unfortunately, like I said, they're collateral damage in all of this, and I really feel bad for them, and I you know I don't know how to express my feelings. You know, I just feel like they're getting screwed too. They're getting screwed over as much as we are. You know, so I wanted to make that clear of who I'm directing all of this, you know, toward. All right. Somebody said, should I actively join chat or do actual work boss man pays me for? Be faithful as much as you can to your employer. I do believe in being honest and having good work ethic and ethics and stuff in regard to your employers and stuff. So, you know. Okay, what is Critical Role going to do? Matthew, thank you for the $2 super chat. I don't know. Because you see, a lot of the big names have released statements to some extent or another, and they've expressed their thoughts on things. Critical Role has been completely silent. I want to know what they're thinking. I want to know what they're going to do. But now here's the thing. I bet you this, I believe this is Luke's belief. Luke's belief, my supposition. I believe that the people at Critical Role, Matt Mercer and all of the other folks that work there, you know, all of them, I really truly believe that they are as outraged by this as we are. I guarantee you. I bet you they're outraged and they think this is horrible and abysmal. 100% guarantee you. 100% guarantee you. The question in my mind is, what is going to be their public stance on it? Because we have to remember, they are people with feelings and emotions, but they are also running a business. They're also professionals running a very, very successful business, which is Critical Role. What is it? Tarrington Press or something like that? Darrington Press, and everything that they produce. So you have to understand that as when you are a business, I'm a business owner, you know, and I have a very small team, but compared to like Critical Role and other people, obviously. But when you are a business owner, you sometimes have to make really hard decisions, and sometimes you have to do things. You have to sometimes make decisions, right? And so I've made the decision that I'm not going to support what they're doing. There's no stinking way. Burn it all to the ground. You want to burn it all to the ground? Burn it all to the ground. I'm not going to support this. There's no stinking way. I can't. It is so morally void of heart and soul. It's so morally empty, ethically just horrible. So I believe Critical Role feels the same way as people. I don't know what they're going to say publicly, and eventually we're going to find out. Now, I also have another suspicion. I think they want to say something. I really, really, really think they want to say something, and their lawyers are probably screaming at them to be quiet. Quiet. And they're probably just sitting there. They're probably sitting there looking at Twitter. Matt Mercer's looking at Twitter, and he's like, son of a gun. I wish I could say something. And then apparently he did like one comment I read about somebody who was saying that this OGL thing's really bad, and he liked it or something. He probably was like at his phone being like, my lawyers, but I'm gonna like that one. So I really, really hope that Critical Role comes out in support of the D&D community and the OGL and publicly denounces what Wizards of the Coast is doing. That is my hope. I believe that as people, I don't know them as people, you guys, but I believe they probably are against this. That's my belief, but I just really don't know them, obviously. I'm not famous enough to be rubbing elbows, you know, with like Critical Role folks. So I believe that they're against it personally. That's my personal belief. I just don't know what they're going to say publicly. Now, my hope is they come out, as I said, and denounce it. That would reaffirm, you know, me a little bit in that, you know, even people because I guarantee you, if they do come out in a public stance against this, their livelihood could be threatened to a certain extent. Now they're voice actors, they have other gigs and stuff, but they've built something really awesome, really awesome and big. And their public stance on this and what they say could affect that. You know, imagine if you have a company like that you worked your butt off to build up, and it is a super amazing success, and you know that your decision in the next week or whatever could affect everything. So they have like probably a really big decision weighing on them right now, you know, and that sucks, you know, but I really hope they do what I consider to be the right thing, which is to oppose what Wizards of the Coast is doing. But because Critical Role has done such amazing things for D&D. Again, they've been one of the key factors in helping to elevate the hobby and make it much more than it was before, right? So I respect and love what they do. Now, I don't watch a whole lot of Critical Role personally. It just doesn't appeal to me really. I have a business to run, and I run a lot of my own games, so I can't say that I watch a whole lot of it. I did watch a lot of season 1. A lot of season 1 I watched. And so I see the appeal, and it was really cool. These days I don't watch a whole lot of it. I'm being just fully forthright, honest disclaimer, you know. But the fact that I don't watch them a whole lot does not mean that I don't recognize the amazing thing that they're doing for our hobby. And so I really hope that they come out with a public statement that denounces this abysmal decision by Wizards of the Coast.
Now, if you're looking for hundreds of beautifully illustrated monsters that you can use at your gaming table and at a fraction of the price of unpainted minis, the RPG Essentials Kickstarter offers exactly what you need. RPG Essentials offers a new perspective on fantasy gaming minis. These acrylic top-down tokens are durable, portable, and at a great price on Kickstarter right now. Each monster is illustrated from above, so they beautifully and seamlessly integrate into your RPG maps. Every illustration is painstakingly detailed by acclaimed fantasy illustrator Daryl T. Jones. Immersive and dynamic gameplay has never been easier. Bring every encounter to life. Enjoy more engaging and tactical combat. Fill your dungeons, forests, caves, and cities. You no longer have to use coins or buttons or M&Ms to represent creatures in your games. RPG Essentials has monsters for every adventure. All tokens have at least one variant available as well, such as different equipment or colors. They are beautifully illustrated on durable flat acrylic, so they are easy to store and carry. Again, all at a fraction of the price of standard minis. Monsters include 10 types of dragons, each in 4 sizes, hordes of goblins, orcs, kobolds, gnolls, and lizard folk, undead skeletons of all kinds, plus zombies, ghouls, and vampires, dinosaurs and prehistoric beasts, giant sea monsters, subterranean terrors, common animals, mounts, reptiles, and insects, NPCs, villagers, warriors, casters, and heroes from tons of different heritages, elementals, fae and fiends, legendary giants, pretty much every creature you need for your adventures. Bring your games to life with 1,000 plus acrylic monsters, heroes, and NPCs cut to shape for easy and immersive use in your tabletop RPGs. Stunning tokens that are long-lasting, portable, vibrant, and perfectly priced. Back the RPG Essentials Kickstarter today. I know I'm about to. You might consider doing so as well.
All right, let's keep going with questions. Project Black Flag, Kobold Press. What do you know? What do you think? All right, so let's talk about the 2 different publishers now that have announced that they're going to be doing their own game system. The two main ones that I know about, that I believe have been publicly announced, that I know that I'm allowed to talk about. I think there's other people that I know of that are doing stuff, but I'm not sure to what extent I'm allowed to talk about it. So I'm just going to talk about the 2 ones that have been publicly announced that I know about. Now, one of them I learned about this morning, actually, right as I was prepping for this live stream. MCDM, which is run by Matt Colville and his team, they have announced that they're going to be making their own system. I think they announced this on a live stream that they had this week or something. Now, I believe my understanding is I watched a video on YouTube about this. It was explaining it. So take everything I'm about to say with a grain of salt, because I was not able to independently corroborate like what this video was saying. And so I'm just taking this video at face value and sharing what it said. Whether it's completely factual or not, I don't know, because again, I did not independently corroborate it. It just came from a video I happened to watch literally as I was preparing for this live stream. So grain of salt, grain of salt. But apparently Colville had been thinking, and their team had been planning about doing their own system for a while. And my understanding is that in the live stream recently, this week I understand, he announced that their plans for that were getting moved up due to this OGL thing. And so they're planning on getting their own system out there. That's really all I know. That's what I know. The rest of that you're going to have to figure out on your own. Now, what are my thoughts on their system that they might come out with? Well, I think that if you are someone who likes really crunchy systems, something that's going to be really, really crunchy, very crunchy, which means lots of rules, lots of rule complexity and stuff, then that system might be the right thing for you. It's probably going to have a really old school feel to it. Matt Colville is a very like old schoolish type guy. And the things that appeal to him and the type of content he creates, I think is going to appeal to folks like that. But it's going to be very crunchy, because if you look at, I mean, I have strongholds and followers, lots and lots of rules in there. And then if you look at, they did an entire Kickstarter, which I don't have, that was a mass combat system, an entire book on mass combat. So if you have an entire book on mass combat, that's a lot of rules. It's a lot of crunch, right? For one game mechanic, that's a small facet of the game, right? And then if you look at their Flee Mortals Flee, their recent Kickstarter, I glanced over whatever monsters were in their free PDF, and they seemed very complex. He has this whole system for like, I forget what he calls it, but where the monsters all have special actions and stuff they can do. I forget what he calls those things. Action-based. I forget what he calls it. Somebody in the chat probably knows. So the essence is that those monsters seem pretty complex to run. They almost seem like you'd be running a legendary boss monster for every monster. So I'm trying to like not. I'm trying to just kind of like, as much as from an objective standpoint, tell you the way I see that system going, right? It seems like that'll be a pretty crunchy, rules-heavy system. It'll appeal to people who like that, right? I feel, and know nothing about it, only what I know about Matt and his team and what they've produced so far. So again, grain of salt. I feel like what they come up with is probably, and they have announced that it's going to use crazy special dice. It's not going to use D20s and normal dice. It's going to have special dice with special symbols and stuff on it. So that was also in the video that they were talking about. So I feel like for those who want something similar to D&D 5th edition, who want something rules light that's not super crunchy, I feel like what MCDM comes out with is probably not going to be that system. It's probably going to be very, very crunchy, how old school feel. It's going to have special different dice and stuff. So if you really want to go to a new system that's similar to D&D 5th edition, then what they come up with is probably not going to be that. That's just my point of view, the way I kind of see it based upon what I know. But if that sounds like something that you'd like, well then I think you know, right? Now, the other company that has announced the system they're going to come out with is Kobold Press. It's called Project Black Flag, and I need to tell you something. I love Kobold Press's products. I love them. I have Tome of Beasts 1, 2, and 3 on my book. Oh, I just smoked my camera. On my bookshelf right over there. And I have Creature Codex as well. And people who play in my 5th edition games can tell you that I almost exclusively use monsters from Kobold Press's books because they are so good. They are so much better than what Wizards of the Coast produces. I love what Kobold Press does. And so when I saw the announcement, I think it came out yesterday, about Project Blackstaff, I was super excited, because knowing what I know about Kobold Press and the high quality, awesome stuff that they produce, when they said they were going to make their own system, I was like, there you go. There you go. That sounds amazing. I have complete confidence that they're going to kill it out of the park. like knock it out of the park. It's going to be amazing, I'm sure. Now, I don't know. Let's see if we can find it. I'm going to see if I can go to the website and get some more information about it. Project Black Staff Kobold Press. Is that Project Black Staff? I think that's what it's called. No, Project Black Flag. Project Black Flag. All right, I'm going to it right now. I'm going to pull it up on the screen for us to take a look at it to see what it says. I glanced at it and read it really quickly yesterday, but didn't have a chance to dig into it in all honesty because lots of stuff going on around here. And it won't load right now. It literally won't load, which probably tells me that their site is getting crashed right now. You guys, I crap you not. Check this out. This is amazing. Hold on. Let's go over here. Look at this. Look at this. Look. It won't load. It won't load. Do you want to know why this won't load? It won't load because everybody, oh, here it goes. It finally loaded. It finally loaded. There are so many people going to this right now. Like their servers cannot keep up with the traffic. Holy crap. I actually saw a tweet from Kobold Press yesterday where they were like thanking people for all their support. And then they actually mentioned that their page had crashed. Their site had crashed because of so much traffic. Moderators, if you can put a link in the chat to Kobold Press's announcement, I would really appreciate that. I want people to know about that because I feel like this is gonna be really cool. Yeah. So, what does it say? Let's zoom in a little bit and then read more about what they say here. Kobold Press has always been and always will be committed to open gaming and tabletop community. Our goal is to keep creating the best materials for players and game masters alike. This means Kobold Press will release its current Kickstarter projects as planned, including Campaign Builder, Cities and Towns, already printed it on its way to backers this winter. In particular, Deep Magic Volume 2 will remain fully compatible with the 5e rules. We are working with our VTT partners to maintain support for digital platforms. As we look ahead, it becomes more important for our actions to represent our values. Yes, thank you. You know how refreshing it is for me to hear that a big company wants to do that? Their actions represent their values. Because not all companies do that. While we wait to see what the future holds, we are moving forward with a clear-eyed work. With clear-eyed. They now know what is in Wizards of the Coast's heart. And they understand what Wizards wants to do. Even if they call it back in the short term, long term, they know what they want to do. Clear-eyed work on a new core fantasy tabletop rule set, available, open, and subscription-free for those who love it. Codename Project Blackstaff. I keep saying it wrong. Project Black Flag. I'm gonna tell you what, if this comes out as a Kickstarter, I'm gonna be supporting that bad boy. 100% guarantee you. I will throw some money at helping these guys make that. That's what it takes. All kobolds look forward to the continued evolution of tabletop gaming. We aim to play our part in making the game better for everyone. Thank you. Rest assured, Kobold Press intends to maintain a strong presence in the tabletop RPG community. We are not going anywhere. There you go. And then they have a this is really important. You guys go do this right now. I haven't done this. I'm going to do it right now. To receive future announcements and to register to playtest this new core fantasy rule set, please sign up via this form, and then you can join their Discord too. All right, I'm gonna go here right now, and I can't show my screen for this because I'm gonna have to probably input some personal information, but I am literally signing up for this right now. I'm gonna put this in here and get my email address in here. There we go. Email address, good. Confirm email, good. All right, and then let's do this. I don't think they need that. Okay, cool. Beautiful. Submit. Let's hope it goes through because I know their site's getting crashed by people right now. I want to get a confirmation page once this comes up. If you haven't gone out and signed up to be notified about this, I suggest you do. I think this is going to be really good. Yeah, I can't do it. Oh, it looks like I did sign up for it. I got an error message that says this field requires a unique entry and the values you entered have already been used. So, and that was for my email. So I think I signed up for it yesterday, actually. Okay, good. I signed up for it yesterday. Haha. I must have forgotten. I am so busy. I have so many things that I do. I forget the things that I have done and things I haven't done. But I signed up for it yesterday, so I'm going to get notified. So that's amazing. Okay. let's keep talking. We got more questions. We got more super chats. I'm gonna keep going through the super chats. Thank you. From Jasmine, she says 25% is unfair, but the 25% is off money made above 750K. Yes, correct. That's my understanding. That's what they've tried to be very clear about that. So yes, not off the original 750K. You're correct. For example, if your revenue is 850K, you are paying royalties off from 100K, totaling 25,000. Not correct. You're right. You're right. So, but let me explain something too. That right there will still cripple any publisher from gaining any sort of size at all. That scheme right there is intended to cripple anyone from becoming a strong competitor to Wizards of the Coast. That's what they want to do. They want to hobble the horses. They want to stop them from galloping. They really want to prevent any competitor from ever rising again. They saw what Paizo did. Like, Wizards of the Coast, when they came out 4th edition, had a GSL that was abysmal and nobody used it. And Paizo was like, okay, we'll create Pathfinder. And then guess what Paizo did? They grew, and now they're a Goliath in the industry. This provision in the OGL wants to stop any company from ever doing that again. They want to hobble the horses, they want to cripple you, they want to break your legs so that you can't grow a company, right? And that's what that does. So that you can get so big, but then after that, nothing. They're going to keep you, they're going to hold you back. That's what that's intended to do. And I can tell you, as someone who, I'm not a huge player in the publishing industry. My team and I are just getting going here, okay? But we're not small either, right? Like, our first Kickstarter was over 100,000. Our next Kickstarter was over 250,000, right? And then we have this Lair magazine. We have over 1,000 patrons right now, right? So we're not big compared to a lot of people, but we're not small either, right? Because there's some people that are just, you know, they're Kickstarters and stuff and whatever. But anyway, I'm not trying to boast or anything, but I'm just saying that based upon somebody who is a medium-ish sized player in the publishing field, that this, what I know about the behind the scenes and the financials and stuff and how things actually work, right, and what the costs and stuff are, this will cripple any company from growing too big. And that is the intention of Wizards of the Coast. They want to prevent any competitors from ever threatening them ever again. All right. Morgan, thank you. Morgan, thank you for the $10, 10 pounds. Thank you, appreciate that. I do not need 10 pounds, but I'm just messing with you, dude. Thank you. The ask for royalties isn't reasonable. Wizards of the Coast has remained relevant and profitable due to OGL. They have benefited the most from it. 5e would never have gotten that big without the fans. I mean, there's definitely a part of me that agrees with you, 100%. I feel like I'm on the fence about this, right? There's the principle that if somebody else is profiting off from your IP, asking for royalties isn't unreasonable. There's that general principle, just in general, that principle, right? But then a principle by itself doesn't always mean everything, because you need to take into account the totality of the circumstances. And you're absolutely correct that the existence of the OGL has allowed other people to publish under it, which has driven more customers to Wizards of the Coast. And so what you're saying is absolutely true as well, in that the fact that we use the OGL and create more products, that creates more customers. They don't just buy our products, they inevitably go and buy Wizards of the Coast products as well. We are essentially free marketing for them. My entire YouTube channel is pretty much free marketing for Wizards of the Coast and D&D. Free, right? And so you're right. The existence of the OGL and the fact that we use it actually causes them to make more money. And so if you consider the totality of the circumstances, maybe it isn't reasonable to ask for royalties, considering how much more money we make for them because we're doing all of this stuff at no cost to them and we're driving people to them. So you have a good point. I agree. All right. Mad Mage Crafting, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. I'm a smaller YouTube creator who started 5e themed channel, but now trying to figure out next moves. What advice would you give someone starting out? Okay, so this is gonna be Luke's raw business opinion. Okay, like I'm gonna try to divorce myself for a moment from all of this controversy and how much I really don't like what Wizards is doing right now. If you're starting out a YouTube channel, you need to consider who your audience is, right? and what kind of demand there is for the videos that you're making. So if you decide to create a YouTube channel on underwater basket weaving, then you can expect that nobody's going to watch that content. Okay, nobody's going to watch it. If you start a YouTube channel focused on some fringe RPG that nobody's ever played before, you're probably going to struggle. Straight up honest. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It just means that you're probably going to have limited success and momentum because your potential viewership is very, very, very small, right? And so when you think about a YouTube channel, if you're going to start talking about Pathfinder, okay, now your viewership is much bigger. If you start talking about D&D, oh, now you're really getting some bigger viewership, okay? Now, I have a whole bunch of people just coming in as sponsors. Did somebody just gift a sponsorship or something? I think somebody just did a gift or something. Thank you so much, whoever did that. I'll have to track down who that was because I'm getting like of people becoming sponsors and stuff. So thank you, whoever that was. So as you have to consider as a YouTuber, right? You want to make sure you have a potential viewership out there. Because if you don't have a potential viewership out there, then there could be questionable success. This is just pure, straight, honest business like advice, right? So, and again, let's pretend you want to make D&D content, right? I'm not going to knock you for that. I am going to continue to create information that is going to help people who play D&D, that is going to help dungeon masters. I'm going to continue to do that because regardless of what Wizards of the Coast is doing right now, I still love D&D. I still love 5th edition. I still love dungeon masters. I still love people in the community. And I am going to still continue helping people in the community, right? So you need to consider then, if I'm going to make stuff for D&D, cool. Now, am I going to make stuff that appeals to players? Wow. If I'm going to make that my viewership is much bigger. If I'm going to make content on my channel that appeals to dungeon masters, it's much smaller, right? Which is why if you look at my channel, the views on my videos usually don't get crazy super high. Most of my topics appeal strictly to game masters, right? And players, which are by and far the majority, aren't going to watch my content. Probably, right? Unless they're interested in becoming a dungeon master, right? And so the viewership I get is relatively small. But if you look at other channels like Dungeon Dudes, they get lots of views on their videos. And why? Well, first of all, I think they have really good titles that really entice you to click. So I think they do a really good job creating their titles. That's something I'm still trying to work on. I'm not an expert on titles and thumbnails, admittedly. But another thing that Dungeon Dudes has done very well in establishing their brand and their channel is they target players with their videos. Almost all of their videos are appealing to D&D players. They talk about classes and feats, and they do listing videos, what are the best cantrips, stuff like that. And so they've very smartly positioned themselves to have a very wide viewership, and they're doing a very good job in appealing to that viewership. And so their videos are just by default going to get more views than mine because of who their potential viewership is, and because I think that they're better at titles. They're better at titles than I am, and so that just gets people to click. That's just an honest assessment. So anyway, if you're starting a YouTube channel, those are things you need to consider. Now, you probably also want to think about your heart and your ethics and your morals too. So you don't want to make every business decision based upon cold facts and logic, right? Because if you make every business decision based upon cold facts and logic, you end up doing what Wizards of the Coast has just done. And that is not good. So you do need to use cold facts and logic and reason, but you also need to balance it with ethics and morals. And right now, what the senior executive leadership team at Wizards of the Coast is doing has no ethics and has no morals, right? there's a I think Billy Madison is an old movie that Adam Sandler's was in, Billy Madison. And in that movie, at the very end scene, there's this scene about a category called business ethics. And they're doing this like quiz bowl type thing, this quiz Jeopardy champion thing. And the Billy Madison, who's kind of this kind of screw off character, right? He was going up against this like really good businessman, and the category that came up was business ethics. And the businessman had to answer a question about business ethics. And he couldn't. He totally bombed it. He did a horrible job answering that question about business ethics. Whereas Billy Madison who was passionate and he was a screw up and he did a lot of dumb stuff, but he also followed his heart. You know, he had a really good response to business ethics. You know, it's a really fun movie. And I feel like right now, like this is what we're seeing. You know, Wizards of the Coast was up to plate to answer a question about business ethics, and they bombed. They totally bombed. You know, and so when we're up to the plate talking about business ethics, right? We don't want to bomb. We want to do the right thing. We want to do the right thing, because they're not. All right, we'll get some more questions here. All right. Doug, thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate that, dude. I think Wizards of the Coast forgets that this hurts their customers as well. You better believe it does. Third-party content creators fill gaps in content that Wizards of the Coast will not make. They're hurting their own cash cow. I agree. This is the thing, right? Like, and my team and I do the same thing. My team and I, literally, we have to discuss the products that we're going to make. We have a limited capacity. And so when we're thinking about a Kickstarter that we're going to do, we have lots of ideas for Kickstarters and other products that we could create. But my team is very small. We have a limited capacity in what we're able to do. And so we have to be very selective about the things that we publish. And the things that we choose to publish are the things that we think will do well, because we're running a business, guys. Like, if we publish a product that we think is not going to do well and it's not going to help people, then our business tanks and we're out of business. And so when you're running a business, you do need to be selective about what you do and what you don't do, based upon how much you think you're going to help people, which translates directly into success. Because when a product sells, it's usually because it's helping people, and people want it because of the value that it offers, right? And so we want to offer valuable things that people are going to see the need for and they're going to want to buy, because that helps our business. Wizards of the Coast is no different. When they're determining what products they're going to create, they have to choose which ones they create and which ones they don't. And it's usually based upon profit, right? That's not wrong. That's how you run a business many times, except that sometimes you need to think about more than profit, and you need to think about stabbing people in the back. But I digress. So you're right. Third-party publishers, they create a lot of that content that Wizards of the Coast passes on because they know it's not going to be as profitable for them. And that's fair. It's their business. They can choose to create the products and whatnot that don't. But there are gaps. There are gaps. And then we come along as third-party publishers and we make that product, right? Like, there is no mass combat rule set. There's zero mass combat rule set produced officially by Wizards of the Coast. They actually released the Dragonlance book recently, and it supposedly had something, it was supposedly contained information about mass combat, and guess what they did? Guess what they did? They tell you to go buy a board game if you want to play mass combat. So I guess Wizards of the Coast has a board game for mass combat that you can buy. And if you buy the Dragonlance book, I have the Dragonlance book. I bought it mostly because of the alt cover. And then I thought it was a campaign setting. And it's not, it's an adventure. I don't need an adventure module. I wanted the Dragonlance campaign setting. Now, this is admittedly my own fault because I didn't read the description probably. It's probably my own fault. I just assumed that because it said Dragonlance, hold on. This is my fault. This is on me, okay? This mistake is on me. Because it said Dragonlance, I assumed this was a campaign setting. Well, you know what they say, when you assume things, you make yourself into yeah. So that's on me. I thought it was a campaign setting. It's not an adventure module. I was very disappointed, but that's my fault. I'm a big boy, I'll own that. But that's not my point. I digress. My point is that in that book, and I think they might even tell you that it includes something about mass combat, but then in the book, it tells you to buy a standalone game, a tabletop game, you know, that you would play, like a board game type thing, if you want to do mass combat. It's like, that's not helping anybody. But back to my original point. They have not produced a mass combat rule system, right? But third-party publishers have. My team and I, for instance, have created a mass combat rule system. And that rule system is coming out, I think that's releasing in February. So if you're a DM Lair patron and you get Lair magazine and all the other content that we create. Our mass combat rule system, it's rules light too. It's rules light. It's like 5 or 10 pages. It's super rules light because you don't need an entire book to do mass combat, folks. You don't. And the whole game is like this. Mass combat's like a little sliver of it, potentially. You don't want a big book. You want something very simple and easy that you can use and explain to your players and then run at the game table. And so our mass combat system is coming out in February for DM Lair patrons. And Zach, I'm sure you're in chat. Zach, can you confirm that it's in February? We publish so much stuff, you guys, on our calendar, and I'm always like, we're working way out into the future on our stuff, so I always get our timing confused, but I'm pretty sure it's February. So anyway, the point of the person super chat was that third-party publishers help fill the gaps, and that's what we're doing. We're helping fill the gap. There's no mass combat system that out there that I know about that I can recommend to you, right? So my team and I put together what we think is a pretty good system. Now, there are lots of other mass combat systems out there. I'm not lying to you, right? There are lots of them out there, right? But our team felt like we could do something that would contribute to that, to filling that gap as well, right? But anyway, yes, third-party publishers fill the gap. They do amazing things. 100% agree. Okay, next super chat. I literally am just working through super chats, guys. I have so many of them. I apologize for folks who have not super chatted, but I have to honor the super chats. Before we get into that though, I do want to talk to you about today's sponsor. This Kickstarter right now is live. This is RPG Essentials. You guys, if you want to get a bunch of high quality acrylic tokens that you can use in your games for monsters, NPCs, this is the thing for you. Okay, these, like I said, these are not miniatures. These are a miniature alternative. Beautiful artwork. These are acrylic. They're high quality. They are durable. Look at this artwork, you guys. This is done by Daryl T. Jones. He is an acclaimed fantasy illustrator. This Kickstarter is live right now. It's doing over 100K. It's doing very, very well. You're gonna get over 1,000 of these little monster tokens, these little acrylic, beautiful artwork things that you can use in your games. All right, so if you want something like that, I've already backed this project. Like I was showing you guys my screen. You know, let's go to our screen again. I'll just kind of show you because I've already backed this project right here. And it's doing really well. People are, it's going up right now. But this is really, really cool. This the reason I back this is actually something that I will use, right? Because I don't back everything that I recommend to you. I only recommend high quality stuff, right? But I back and purchase the things that I am actually going to use in my games, and this is something that I really think that I'm going to use. And I pushed the wrong button. I'm not sharing my screen. There we go. So I backed this at $168. I'm going to get every single token that they make for this. And so I was looking at all the different pledge levels, and I was like, which one do I want? Which one do I want? And then the one that I picked right here, for 168, I get one of each token. And I was like, yes, that's the one I want. Thank you very much. Because I think these are things that I'll like take to conventions with me and use it in my games at conventions because they're very portable. You know, I can't take my minis everywhere because they just take up too much space. But these little acrylic tokens, yes, I can take these with me. These are really cool. So anyway, if you'd like to go back that, there's a link in the chat, I'm sure, and down in the description where you can go back that project. It looks to be really good. All right, now we'll get back to super chats. All right. Deep breath. I'm getting worked up today. I've only ever bought official Wizards of the Coast books and never third-party stuff. If this OGL thing goes through, I will spend no more money on Wizards of the Coast products. Hey, Patrick, you and I are in the same boat, buddy. I will go on to say that regardless of how this goes through with OGL, I will never buy anything from Wizards again. Ever. 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 You know what? I need to go cancel my D&D Beyond subscription. I literally need to cancel my D&D Beyond subscription. That's the one thing that I've had this in my brain for like 3 or 4 days that I need to go cancel it. And I need to go do that. But because right now they're getting my money and they're not going to get my money anymore. Nothing further from me. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter if they say, we're gonna roll this back and you can keep using 1.0A of the OGL. I don't care. I don't care. I know what's in their heart, and I'm no longer supporting them. And it's unfortunate because there are lots of wonderful people that work at Wizards of the Coast that had nothing to do with this. But I have to vote with my wallet. It's the only, like, I have a voice, right now, and some people are going to listen to me, right? But as a consumer, I personally have to vote with my wallet. That's one of the reasons I backed that Kickstarter I just showed you about, because I vote with my wallet. I like this. I believe in it. I'm going to use this. I'm voting my wallet. When a company does something like Wizards of the Coast right now, like, as a consumer, I vote with my wallet. And if they're doing something I don't believe in, that I think is wrong, like morally and ethically wrong, then I stop giving them money. And so I suggest that anybody who feels the same would consider doing that. Now, if you don't, I'm not going to judge you, right? But just follow your heart, right? Follow your heart. If you feel like what this company is doing is wrong, then you should consider, will I continue giving them money or not? Consider it. Nobody's going to judge you. I'm not. Right? If you want to keep giving them money, that's up to you. That's between you and you know, your conscience and stuff. And nobody's going to judge you really. But I personally am done giving them money. And I think that anybody who doesn't agree with what they're doing should consider doing the same, because it's a way for us as consumers, as D&D fans, as the D&D community, to send them a message that says, hey, we don't agree. And guess what? You were getting really, really greedy, and you wanted to screw over a whole lot of wonderful people out there. And guess what? You wanted more money? We deny you. So let's just throw that out there. Recanted Forger, thank you for the $5 super chat. What I learned in 2023, lawyers are cheaper than hiring more or better content creators. I'm just gonna let that one sit right there. I'm gonna let that sit right there. Funky Penguin, thank you for the £5 super chat. I do appreciate that. Penguin Butt, hey, Penguin Butt, thank you. Penguin Butt, by the way, guys, Penguin Butt, I don't know if she's in the stream or not, but she is one of my core team members. She's one of our full-time employees right now. We just hired her on full-time in the middle of December last year. So like about a month ago, she became full-time with us. And Goliath Cleric, who I think is also in chat, he's our other full-time employee. We hired him on in December of last year as well. So we now have 2 full-time employees. These guys are amazing. My other team members are amazing. Ed and Thomas are amazing. Our freelancers are amazing. Our cartographers are amazing. You guys, the people that work on my team are amazing. I love them. I'm getting like emotional now too. I love them so much. They do such great work. They're a joy to work with. I love these guys. Okay, and I hope, my sincere hope is that things work out in our favor and that we can keep doing what we're doing. I'm determined that this isn't going to end for us, right? Because I love my team. I love all of them, and I love what we're doing. And I love helping people in this community. And so we're going to figure out a way forward. I already have legal counsel. I'm working with the firm. My legal representative is the firm that helped institute OGL 1.0A, the original firm that helped institute it and put it in place to begin with. And they're not happy about this either. So anyway, I have legal representative. They are probably the premier experts in this field, and I'm very confident that with their help and with the help of all of the other big names in the publishing industry, that we're going to figure out a path forward for our business, right? And for the community as a whole too. Because I love what I do, and it's not going to end anytime soon. But anyway, Penguin Butt, that was a tangent. Penguin Butt, what she said was, should I stay and join the stream or do the work that my boss assigned me to do? Yeah, Penguin Butt has a lot of work to do. I won't fault you if you stay in the stream though. Okay, let's go to the next super chat. Got to get a refill sometime soon here too. I'm running out. I ran out of tea. I just ran out of tea, folks. Mo, thank you for the $20 super chat. Luke, thanks for your team's amazing work. Lair magazine and your channel has helped me take my DMing from good to great. and given my son and I a bonding experience I never imagined possible. You guys make a difference. Thank you. I was meeting with some old team members from my previous job, and I don't know, I made this offhanded comment about that I don't know that I just kind of was telling her, I was like, her name is Bethany. I was like, Bethany, I don't know if I'm actually making a difference, you know, if I'm impacting the world or something. And she's like, Luke, lots of people, lots of dungeon masters watch your content and they learn from it and they grow from it. You're making a difference. And that felt really good to hear that, you know, because sometimes you question, sometimes you wonder. So thank you, Mo, again for that. My team is amazing, and I believe we are making a difference, and we're doing a lot of amazing stuff. Absolutely. And also, by the way, you mentioned your son and you bonding together over D&D. I ran a D&D campaign for my daughter for, I think, about a year and a half or so when she was a little bit younger. I think she was around 12 or 13. And I'll tell you what, man, those are some of the best memories I have with my daughter playing D&D. It was amazing. I love that. All right. Calm down here. Calm down. Chris, thank you for the $20 super chat. New systems for you, may I say. All right, here are some system recommendations from Chris in chat. Looking these over, I can say I have only played one of them, or maybe two of them. Anyway, they are White Wolf and Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypses, Chronicle of Darkness, Shadowrun, GURPS, Traveler, Hazard Projects, the Aether Blood Chronicles, support someone else. So I've run Shadowrun. It was fun. I liked it. I'm not sure I would probably want to play Shadowrun personally as like an ongoing campaign or something, but as a one shot, it was very cool. I really enjoyed it. I might have played GURPS maybe at a convention, but I'm not sure. Actually, no, I don't think it was GURPS. I think it was Dungeon Crawl Classics. So it wasn't GURPS. I don't think I have any experience with that. But Shadowrun I played. I thought it was pretty cool, if that's what you're looking for. Oh, this is a good question. Claudio says, hello there. What would you do if you were placed in charge of Hasbro? I'm going to tell you exactly what I would do right now. Right now. Everyone responsible for this decision is fired, out the door, gone right now. Gone. Everyone who had a hand in this, everyone who was in the meeting that agreed to it, everyone is gone. They're gone. They're gone. The C-suite's gone. Everyone is gone. All right? And then you put somebody else in charge of that company who actually loves the game. Because no one who loves this game, no one who loves D&D, no one who loves the D&D community would ever do something like this. So you fire the C-suite, you fire everybody who was in charge, and you put people in charge that love this game and love this community and want to take it good places. You put someone like that in charge and you will never see something like this again. But the moment you put executives from Microsoft or wherever it else is who are charged with making money, this is the sort of thing you see. I don't know who that would be to put in charge, but you need someone who loves the game, who loves it, and would never betray us and backstab us like this. That's who needs to be in charge, okay? Put someone like that in charge and they'll take the company good places. You put executives that worked on Xbox and stuff from Microsoft who are purely there to help with the microtransactions and making money and ushering D&D into a digital age, and this is the sort of thing you get. So leadership is the problem. It's not the rank and file. And I mentioned this previously in the video. It's not the rank and file. I'm convinced that 99% of the people that work at Wizards of the Coast knew nothing about this. It's the people that made the decision. It's the C-suite. It's the executives, right? They're the ones that made this decision. And so you get rid of them and you put new people in charge that love the game, who play the game. Do you really think that Cynthia Williams from Microsoft and the other executives they pulled from Microsoft play D&D? Now, maybe in their onboarding, they played a D&D game, so they kind of have an idea of it. I don't know. Maybe they've watched some actual plays or something, because they're professionals. They're taking over a company. They have to understand a few things. You know, so that I'm sure they had some exposure as part of their learning process and their studies and research in order to be able to run the company. But do you really think that they play D&D, an ongoing D&D campaign? Do you think they've been playing in it for decades? Do you think they love it? Do you think they have a passion for it? I refuse to believe that, because if they did, they would never do this. I'm out of tea. I'm out of tea and I was reaching for it. Okay. How will this affect Kickstarters that have yet to be filed? I think the short and long of it is we don't know. Oh, have yet to be filled? Probably we don't know. I can tell you this though, that we have a Kickstarter, Layers and Legends. We've already fulfilled the digital products, all of them. The books are literally being printed right now by our printer, and they're gonna come over to the US and then we're gonna fulfill them. We are fulfilling our Kickstarter. We are fulfilling our Kickstarter. And I know there are other companies too that are fulfilling their commitments to their customers. Because even though Wizards of the Coast has shown that they are not willing to fulfill their commitment to the D&D community and to their customers, their commitment to love the game, to honor the game, honor the tradition, and take it to good places, even though they have shown that they're not going to do that, there are lots of third-party publishers, mine included, me included, that are going to honor our commitments to our fans, to our customers, and to the people that support us. Even if everybody doesn't, I know I am, I know many other third-party publishers are doing that. That's integrity. That's what we need, which we didn't get from Wizards of the Coast. By the way, I wanted to mention too, I'm gonna do something right here. I want to show you something. Because this pisses me off. This is the statement right here. This is what Wizards said in their only statement. We love the interest and passion the community has for D&D. We love D&D too. Lying sacks of crap. No one who loves D&D would be doing what they did. Now, unfortunately, this says D&D Beyond staff, and I don't believe that for a second. This right here is a statement from the executive team, because the people who, like I said, the people who work at Wizards of the Coast, the rank and file, they probably do love D&D. But the people who made this decision do not love D&D. They do not. They wouldn't be doing this. All right, next question. Mad Mage Crafting, thank you for the $10 super chat. I'm a smaller YouTube creator who started a 5e theme channel, but now trying to figure out next moves. Any advice for someone starting out in this crazy time? I literally answered that same question a little bit ago. I'm not gonna rehash it right now. Maybe you can go find it. I apologize if that is a little bit of effort on your end. But I answered it once and I wanna keep moving on. But I do thank you for the super chat, dude. Peril Dice, thank you for the $5 super chat. I love MCDM stuff, but also Runehammer's ICRPG is simplified with very fast and streamlined open play. Thank you. Thank you for the recommendation. Tyler Axelrose, thank you for $10 super chat. Royalties are fine, but the percentage is crap. Yeah, 25%. That's like I said before, that's intended to cripple any third-party publisher and prevent them from becoming a financial threat at all to Wizards. Right? It's intended to cripple you, hobble you, and prevent you from growing beyond a certain threshold. That's what a 25% royalty off the top does. Off the top. Before all of the crazy expenses, you have to, yeah. Scooter McDuder, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do we know how they intend to even enforce this OGL? They aren't the IRS. How do they intend to audit all these other companies? Lawyers, dude. Lawyers and their legal team. Cease and desist letters. They're going to bully us. That's what they're going to do. They're going to bully us. It doesn't take that much time for a paralegal to go out there and do some research and find all the different companies that have published under the OGL 1.0A. A paralegal goes for like, I don't know, their billable hours is probably like $150 an hour. You could pay a paralegal $150 an hour, a couple days research, maybe a week's research, and they probably can put together a spreadsheet that lists every single publisher who has used the the OGL and their email. And then the same paralegal, maybe you pull in an actual, lawyer billing at like $500 an hour, and you actually craft a cease and desist letter, and you send it to all of those publishers, right? And you tell them that if you don't stop, we'll see you in court, essentially, So that's like a week's worth of work for a paralegal and a lawyer, I think. I don't think that's unreasonable. And that's how you do it. You start bullying them. You start threatening them. If you don't stop, we'll see you in court. We'll see you in court. And here's the thing. They want to bully us. They want to bully us with the threat of legal action for us to stop. That is their tactic. That is what they're going to do, right? Because they know, look, let's pretend I get a cease and desist letter, right? Let's just pretend. I take it to my lawyer. My lawyer's like, Luke, let me tell you something. And this is all speculation and hypothetical, right? My lawyer says, Luke, there's no way they can win this case in court because I firmly believe they cannot revoke the OGL 1.0A. And I'm gonna be like, that's great. That's wonderful. Let's do it. And then my lawyer's like, but Luke, they're gonna be able to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on this court case if they want to. And I'm gonna be like, yeah. And my lawyer's gonna be like, that's what we're gonna have to spend, if not more too. And then Luke's gonna be like, well, crap, I don't have that money. And my lawyer's gonna be like, I know, it sucks, doesn't it? Because that's the reality of it, right? It's like, could you win the case? Let's pretend you could. Do you have the same amount of money to throw at it that Wizards does? No. And so, like I said, they want to bully us, threaten us, coerce us into just rolling over and dying. That's their intention. And so that kind of answers your question. How do they intend to enforce it? Well, through legal action and threatening and bullying, right? Where's my tea? I'm gonna have to go to water now. I have a backup. Aussie Striker, thank you for the $15 something. I don't know what that donation is, but I appreciate currency. Appreciate it. Can you give me the too long didn't read of the OGL saga, as I have apparently been living under a rock? Aussie Striker, my strongest recommendation to you is to go to the YouTube channel called D&D Shorts. He created a video that's under 10 minutes that gives a really good recap that I think was phenomenal and spectacular. Zach, or one of my other moderators, if you could put a link to that in the chat, I would appreciate it. That's my recommendation for you to get like a 10-minute overview, summary, very succinctly, very well put. Go check out D&D Shorts because he did an amazing job. All right, next. Demo Boy, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that, dude. Actually, I think he has been a member for a while. Thank you, dude. I am considering making my own system. What are the do's and don'ts of homebrewing your own rule set? Oh gosh, dude. This is, you're asking a question in an area that like it's not my area of expertise. I've never created my own system. I have ideas for it, right? I've never actually done it. No, wait, I have done it before. I have created my own little game system similar to D&D. I've done it twice before. When I was living in Central America, I went to a church down there, and they were still under the satanic panic mentality, and they wouldn't let me play D&D, right? But I didn't have my books either. And so I didn't bring my D&D books because I didn't think that I'd be playing D&D down. I was a missionary down in Central America. I didn't think I'd be playing D&D, but then people were interested. And so I didn't have my books, and I literally created a very simple D6 based system because all I could get access to was D6s. That was similar to D&D. It was like a fantasy role-playing game. I don't have any of my notes or anything from it. That was like a long time ago. That was probably 17 years ago, I think, when I did that. And eventually the church told me to stop because they're like, D&D, oh no. So anyway, so I did that once, and then I have created a very rules light system for playing a fantasy role-playing game. I created this, so a couple years ago, one of my team members, I worked at a full-time job, and one of my team members at that job wanted me to run a D&D game for the entire team. It was his birthday. It was actually his birthday. and we were gonna, I think, was it his birthday? I'm pretty sure it was his birthday. And as a team, we were gonna have a birthday celebration. And his name was Brian. Brian came up to me and he was like, Luke, I would love for you to run a D&D game for the entire team. We were a team of technical writers. And I was a writer before. That's what I did as a vocation and stuff. And he said, Luke, I'd love for you to run a D&D game for us. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I'm like, but all of these people have never played before. It would be really, really hard for them to pick up all the rules and stuff and have a fun time, like in a small time period and stuff, you know, because D&D takes a little bit. There's some uptake that is required. And so I created our little RPG system that uses a 2d6s. And it's really simple. It was really awesome. We had tons of fun. And I'm actually this reminds me that the very same system that I created, like I think this was about 3 years ago that I created that little basic system. I'm actually planning on using it again because right now I'm a volunteer at my church. I work with the youth at my church, and we're going to have a lock-in coming up in about a week or two, and I'm going to run a D&D game for kids that are at the lock-in. And I was actually at a youth group meeting last night talking to the leader, and I was like, I don't think, like, a lot of these kids probably are never going to have played D&D before, so I don't know that they're going to be able to pick up the rules that quickly. It might be a little too complicated for them. And so I told him, I was like, you know what, but I have a very simple system that I created that they can learn in like 5 minutes and we can start playing. And so I think I'm going to do that. And he was like, yeah, that sounds perfect. And so this system that I created, I'm going to use this at that lock-in for my church in like a couple of weeks to play D&D. I probably won't, I might not call it D&D. I'll just say that it's something similar to it because it's my own little role-playing game system that I created. I've actually been thinking about putting that together and publishing it somehow. It would need some fleshing out, you know, and some wordsmithing and stuff, but I have an amazing team of writers who would help with that. But anyway, I've been toying around with that idea, but it's a very easy system. It's so easy to play. You know, it's the perfect thing for introducing role-playing games, fantasy role-playing games, or any other type of role-playing games to your friends, your family, people at work and stuff like that. Because you could literally, I explained the rules in like 5 minutes and we were playing. We had a great time. So I have had a little bit of experience with designing role-playing game systems, but nothing in the scope of like Pathfinder or Savage Worlds or, you know, Shadowrunner or anything like that. Shadowrun. So my expertise is limited. And so you're asking me for advice on the do's and don'ts of homebrewing your own rule set. I don't know that I can give you those do's and don'ts off the top of my head, just because of my limited experience with it. That's really all I think I should and can say, to be perfectly honest with you. All right. Now, a word from our sponsor. This is an amazing Kickstarter, guys. Check this out.
Now, if you're looking for hundreds of beautifully illustrated monsters that you can use at your gaming table and at a fraction of the price of unpainted minis, the RPG Essentials Kickstarter offers exactly what you need. RPG Essentials offers a new perspective on fantasy gaming minis. These acrylic top-down tokens are durable, portable, and at a great price on Kickstarter right now. Each monster is illustrated from above, so they beautifully and seamlessly integrate into your RPG maps. Every illustration is painstakingly detailed by acclaimed fantasy illustrator Daryl T. Jones. Immersive and dynamic gameplay has never been easier. Bring every encounter to life. Enjoy more engaging and tactical combat. Fill your dungeons, forests, caves, and cities. You no longer have to use coins or buttons or M&Ms to represent creatures in your games. RPG Essentials has monsters for every adventure. All tokens have at least one variant available as well, such as different equipment or colors. They are beautifully illustrated on durable flat acrylic, so they are easy to store and carry. Again, all at a fraction of the price of standard minis. Monsters include 10 types of dragons, each in 4 sizes, hordes of goblins, orcs, kobolds, gnolls, and lizard folk, undead skeletons of all kinds, plus zombies, ghouls, and vampires, dinosaurs and prehistoric beasts, giant sea monsters, subterranean terrors, common animals, mounts, reptiles, and insects. NPCs, villagers, warriors, casters, and heroes from tons of different heritages. Elementals, fae, and fiends, legendary giants, pretty much every creature you need for your adventures. Bring your games to life with 1,000 plus acrylic monsters, heroes, and NPCs cut to shape for easy and immersive use in your tabletop RPGs. Stunning tokens that are long-lasting, portable, vibrant, and perfectly priced. Back the RPG Essentials Kickstarter today. I know I'm about to. You might consider doing so as well. All right, let's rock and roll. I got my tea, my beautiful peppermint tea. I won't have these false starts where I go to like drink it and stuff. So, all right, let's keep on going with the questions here. Hot Dice, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Do appreciate that. By the way, anybody who wants to support like what my team and I do, the content that we create and stuff, my strongest recommendation for you is to go to our Patreon. When you become a YouTube channel member, that's awesome, and I love that and I appreciate that. But if you go to our Patreon, you're going to be getting lots of really cool stuff. Like my team and I produce Lair magazine every month for our patrons. Like it's over 50 pages, usually over 60 pages of content for Game Masters. We have adventures, monsters, we have new rule sets. In February, we're coming out with a mass combat system for you guys all. This month, we published, I think, a curses and hexes system. So we have lots of cool content that we make for Game Masters. It is 5th edition compatible for you. And so if you want to support what we're doing, and if you want to get some really, really cool stuff as well that you can use in your games to help reduce your prep time and run amazing games, and I strongly recommend you check out our Patreon. There's a link down below and stuff, and there's one right on screen, literally right here as well. So if you want to support us, please feel free to do so. I also, on the back of that shameless plug, I also want to throw out the recommendation for any of you all that want to do this. Support third-party publishers right now. Like, we need your support. We really need your support. Not just me. Like, it doesn't have to be me. It can be anybody. It can be anybody who publishes third-party content. I personally just bought almost $600 worth of stuff from Paizo a few days ago. Because one, I'm beginning to run a Pathfinder 2nd edition game, and two, I've been meaning to buy it for a while, and I figured, hey, this is the perfect time to support them. And so I'm getting all stocked up on my Pathfinder 2.0 stuff. So if there's a third-party publisher out there that you enjoy what they're doing, you want to support them, and you think they're doing awesome things for the community and for folks in general, support our third-party publishers. Now, somebody mentioned that Paizo might not even be considered a third-party publisher because of how amazing and successful they've been and how big they are, which is a fair point. But my point is that support folks, support the content creators, whoever it happens to be. Again, it doesn't have to be me. It can be anybody you want. But right now, we need your help because I'm having to pay legal fees already myself for the counsel that I've obtained, which is fair. Like, they have to make a living. I respect that, but it does put more of a financial burden on me and my team because we're now having to pay those fees in response to this debacle of Wizards of the Coast. So please support third-party publishers, content creators, your favorite YouTuber who might be affected by this or something, whoever that happens to be. I encourage you to support us. I might suggest that whatever money you were going to give to Wizards of the Coast, you change your mind perhaps and send it to somebody else. If you have a D&D Beyond subscription, cancel that thing. Whatever it was, $5, $10, give it to somebody else. Not me, it doesn't have to be me. Anybody, just give it to somebody else, right? If you were gonna buy one of their upcoming books, just cancel your pre-order. Go on to Amazon, cancel your pre-order, give that money to somebody else. Support third-party publishers. I think we need to send Wizards a statement that we do not agree with what they are doing. And the only thing they're going to listen to is money, because money and greed is what's driving their current trajectory. And that's the only thing they're going to hear, the only thing they're going to listen to. And so that's my request. Consider that. And you know what? If you don't and you want to continue supporting what they do, I'm not going to judge you. Each one of us as consumers, as individuals, as D&D players, as RPG enthusiasts needs to make our own informed decisions, right, about what we do with our money and who we choose to support.
And so do what you feel is in your heart. Let your heart and your feelings guide you, is all I say. And I'm not going to judge you either way. I respect everybody's decision to do what they want with the money that they make, because that is a decision and a right you have. All right, next super chat. Hot Dice, thank you, $5, became a member. As always, the suits have no connection to the players. Nope, they have no connection. I ranted about this a little bit ago. Wizards could have just started a creator program, and the rest of your super chat got cut off. I apologize. They could have, there's a lot of other things they could have done, but they decided to burn the bridges. They decided to go nuclear. Wizards of the Coast was like, the executives, I want to be clear, were like, we need to make more money. Hasbro told us to increase revenue by 50% over the next 3 years. How can we make more money? And there's executives sitting at a table, and somebody's like, well, we could create a program that encourages the D&D community to create content, and they make a bit of it, and we make a bit of it, or something. We could do this, that, and the other. And then the other executive's like, let's drop a nuclear bomb on everyone, destroy all of the competition, and take everything for ourselves. And then everybody looks at that executive and they're just like, yes, do that. And that's what they did. They went nuclear. They dropped the nuclear bomb, and they want to cut out everybody and take everything for themselves. That for the person who asked for a too long didn't read like a little bit ago, that is your too long didn't read. That is your summary of the OGL debacle right now. That is your summary. Merrick Wolf, thank you for the $50, dude. I appreciate that. Merrick says, keep fighting the good fight, man. Thank you, sir. Oh, baby. Priestess Lucy says, what's the plan for Lair magazine? All right, so for those of you who are patrons of mine, for those of you who get Lair magazine every month, for those of you who get the content and want to keep supporting it because it's helping you and all that stuff, I know you're probably worried, you're wondering what's going to happen with Lair magazine. My team and I have been throwing around some ideas. We have reached out to legal counsel. We have retained, okay, and enlisted the help of the same legal company that helped institute the OGL to begin with. OGL version 1.0A, we now have retained as our counsel that same legal firm, okay? The same guy that worked on the original OGL and instituting it and stuff, that's our lawyer, guys. That's who we've retained. So we're taking this very seriously. I am 100% confident that this law firm knows what they're doing. They know the ins and outs of the OGL and IP and the legalities around it and stuff like that. So they are, in my opinion, knowing what I know about them, I feel like they're, if not the premier expert on this, they got to be darn close because they helped originate it all, right? So I feel like we have like the perfect legal counsel for this, and my team and I have bantered back and forth some ideas. But the big thing right now is that we're kind of waiting a little bit to determine what Wizards of the Coast ultimately does. Whether we're going to be able to continue publishing under OGL version 1.0A or whether we're going to have to pick a different course. But I assure you of this. My team and I are going to figure out a way forward. We're going to figure this out. Now, I can't promise you, it would be disingenuous of me to promise you that there won't be any interruptions to our publications, because I don't know what the future is going to hold. I don't know what my legal counsel might end up telling me. This is all theory, all hypothetical, but they might come and be like, Luke, you kind of got to stop, otherwise you're going to be in big trouble, right? Or there might be a way forward. So I can't promise you what the future holds right now for my company and for Lair magazine and our different publications, because right now Wizards of the Coast has gone nuclear and they've pushed the big red button, and now we're dodging and scrambling and figuring out what to do. So I can't give you any guarantees just because it would be disingenuous of me to do so. What I can assure you of is this. We have excellent counsel, we have excellent legal representation. My team and I are thinking of ideas, and we are going to figure out a path forward. I don't know what that's going to be, and there might be an interruption to our publications based upon how things turn out. I don't know. And so I suppose my heartfelt, deepest plea to the people that support our content is just to stick with us. Stick with us. Like, even if there's an interruption to our publications, rest assured that my team and I are working on something, on a path forward, so that we can continue to support the D&D community, so that we can continue to support game masters running 5th edition or other RPG systems and stuff, so that we can continue doing what we do and helping you. Wizards of the Coast is trying to shut us down. Wizards of the Coast literally wants to stop my team and I from helping you, from creating the resources that you find valuable, that are helping you in your games, that are reducing your prep time, and just, they want to stop us. They want to shut us down. That's what they're trying to do with this, okay? And so I have dedicated the last 4 years of my life to helping you. I have no intentions of stopping now. Now, they want to shut me down though, and they're a big company with lots of money, and I'm a little tiny company with just a little tiny bit of money. And so it's going to be a hard fight, and I might get beat up. We might get beat down. There might be an interruption to our publications. I don't know. I can't guarantee you anything because of the way things sit. But I promise you this, I'm going to remain dedicated to helping game masters and helping people in their games. And we're going to figure out a way forward. And if things have to get shut down for a second or two while we figure that out, we're going to be working on it. And so my plea, my ask for you is, please continue to support us, stick with us, because we're going to figure out a way forward. We're going to figure it out. What that means, what that looks like, I don't know. Once Wizards of the Coast comes out with something official and we know what their actual direction is going to be, my team and I are probably going to have an emergency powwow to discuss our options. And obviously we'll have to talk with our legal representation as well to see what they're saying. And then my team and I will figure out what we're going to do, right? I'm going to try to be as transparent and forthright with all of you guys as I can, because I feel like that is like that. First of all, it's who I am as a person, to just speak from my heart and to tell you what I actually think about things. And second of all, like that's just like I feel like that's the right thing to do, and that's what you would expect of a person with any level of ethics and moral, is to just simply be transparent and tell you. And right now that's kind of where we're sitting. And so I will try to tell you guys and keep you updated as much as I can. Just bear in mind that there are going to be some things that are probably going to be things that I can't talk about. Like if I have something that's protected by attorney-client privilege that's with my lawyer or something, and they share things and they say, Luke, you can't tell people this because X, Y, and Z, then I might have to be close-lipped about it. I just want to be perfectly honest. There are going to be some things that I can talk about, and there are probably going to be some things that I have to keep under wraps until plans fully develop, and I probably get okay to talk about it. So that's that. But my commitment is to be as transparent and to you all as I can about the future of our Patreon, the future of Lair Magazine, and what we're doing as a third-party publisher. So there you go. Prime Emperor, $5. Thank you for that super chat. Will Lair Magazine be able to continue under the new OGL, or will it need to become more general, assuming it isn't already? We don't know. The long and short of it is we don't know. We're going to figure out a way forward, and whatever that means, we're going to make it happen. My dog, okay, ladies and gentlemen, my dog is freaking out on me right now. I'm pretty sure she has to go to the bathroom. If I don't take my dog to the bathroom right now, she's probably going to poop on my floor. And so I have to leave. I'll be back in a hot second. I'm going to show you the sponsor for today's video. Go check this stuff out.
Now, if you're looking for hundreds of beautifully illustrated monsters that you can use at your gaming table and at a fraction of the price of unpainted minis, the RPG Essentials Kickstarter offers exactly what you need. RPG Essentials offers a new perspective on fantasy gaming minis. These acrylic top-down tokens are durable, portable, and at a great price on Kickstarter right now. Each monster is illustrated from above, so they beautifully and seamlessly integrate into your RPG maps. Every illustration is painstakingly detailed by acclaimed fantasy illustrator Daryl T. Jones. Immersive and dynamic gameplay has never been easier. Bring every encounter to life. Enjoy more engaging and tactical combat. Fill your dungeons, forests, caves, and cities. You no longer have to use coins or buttons or M&Ms to represent creatures in your games. RPG Essentials has monsters for every adventure. All tokens have at least one variant available as well, such as different equipment or colors. They are beautifully illustrated on durable flat acrylic, so they are easy to store and carry. Again, all at a fraction of the price of standard minis. Monsters include 10 types of dragons, each in 4 sizes, hordes of goblins, orcs, kobolds, gnolls, and lizard folk, undead skeletons of all kinds, plus zombies, ghouls, and vampires, dinosaurs and prehistoric beasts, giant sea monsters, subterranean terrors, common animals, mounts, reptiles, and insects, NPCs, villagers, warriors, casters, and heroes from tons of different heritages, elementals, fae, and fiends, legendary giants, pretty much every creature you need for your adventures. Bring your games to life with 1,000 plus acrylic monsters, heroes, and NPCs cut to shape for easy and immersive use in your tabletop RPGs. Stunning tokens that are long-lasting, portable, vibrant, and perfectly priced. Back the RPG Essentials Kickstarter today. I know I'm about to. You might consider doing so as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So this is my dog. This is my dog Zoe. She did not go potty, so we might end up with a very fun moment on this stream today. All right. I would have felt a whole lot better if she had done something. She was freaking out like she needed something. So that concerns me. Will this affect your Kickstarter? Nope. We are shipping. Not going to affect our Kickstarter. Layers and Legends will not be affected by this. It's Drafty. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. I saw on Twitter you ordered some Pathfinder 2e books. Just you enjoy it as much as our group has. Wish more folks would give it a try. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, thank you, dude. I mean, yeah. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. It looks really cool. I'm getting ready to run that game now for my in-person group of my friends. By the way, all of those games that I run using Pathfinder 2nd Edition, we're going to be in the Eberron game set, the campaign setting, actually, because I love Eberron. We're going to be, all of those videos for that game that I'm going to be running for my friends in person right over there in my basement here is going to be on my YouTube channel here. So you're going to be able to watch all of those games if you want to. We're going to start from level 1, Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and we're going to be in the Eberron campaign setting, and it's going to be tons of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Those will all be right here on my channel. Green Spleen, thank you for the 25 euros. I appreciate that, dude. Tyler Axel Rose, thank you for becoming a member. Is taking IP creation thing accurate? If you're asking if Wizards would be taking people's IP if they agree to OGL version 1.1, yes, that's accurate. That's what's in the OGL 1.1. Anything you create under OGL 1.1, Wizards would have the right to use however they want in their own publications. They can steal creators' own work from them. Wow. We have a lot of super chats here. I'm going to try to get all of these. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Ladybug says, how can friendly local game shops support third-party creators like me? Well, I think carry our books. If we have physical books, recommend us to your customers. You know, I feel like we have some hard decisions in front of us. We have hard decisions about who we're going to support and what companies we choose to do business with right now. And the sad fact of the matter is that friendly local game shops, FLGs, or your local game shops, a lot of them make the bulk of their revenue from
Magic, a lot of them, like Magic the Gathering, which is created by Wizards of the Coast. A lot of them make a lot of their revenue from that. And then they make a lot of revenue probably from maybe D&D books and stuff. And so I don't really want to say what I feel like they should do, because it's a big boy decision, right? Like, are they going to stop carrying Wizards of the Coast products in order to make a statement? Well, if they do that, they might as well shut their doors, many of them, because that's where all their money comes from, right? So do I refuse to support this company at all and go out of business? Like, man, I don't know that that's a decision that anybody is probably going to make very lightly. You know, it's a hard one. So off the top of my head, if third-party publishers have books, please stock them on your shelves, and recommend people buy those books too. So if somebody's in your game shop looking for an RPG system and they walk up to you and say, hey, you know, I heard of D&D and stuff, and I was thinking about getting involved in some sort of RPG and stuff, you know, do you have any of those books? What do you recommend? Take them to something that's maybe not D&D. You know, take them to a Pathfinder book, take them to Savage Worlds or Shadowrun or something else, Call of Cthulhu. I played lots of Call of Cthulhu. I love Call of Cthulhu. Maybe you recommend something else. Maybe you recommend a different book, a different system created by a different publisher. You know, I don't want to say that you should do something that would tank your business. You know what's best for your business, and you have to make that decision, because like, I get it. You have to pay the bills, dude. And you worked your butt off to create your local game shop and sweat, blood, and tears, man. And you love that thing, and you got to keep those doors open. So I'm not going to judge you, and I don't think anybody should judge you based upon your decisions, because those are big boy decisions, big girl decisions that got to be made, you know. But just consider things and think about things, you know, and how can you best support third-party publishers while not tanking your business? Because you got to be wise. You have to be a good steward of what's been entrusted to you, right? You can't make, you know, frivolous decisions that cause your business to shut up and go under, because wow, that's probably not going to help anybody, I'd imagine, right? All right. Thank you for the question. That was a good one. I just don't know that I have the best answer for it. Rouge Kali, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think the new CEO of Wizards of the Coast might have actually been a sack sheep for Hasbro? I have no idea what sack sheep means. So that she could take the fall and not them. Oh, I mean, they all have golden parachutes, I'm sure. Maybe, but I don't think so. Like, they brought in a CEO from Microsoft, from Xbox, that's going to work on microtransactions and taking D&D into the next digital era. I don't think, if they wanted to hire a scapegoat, if they wanted a scapegoat, if that was their intention, I think they would have probably brought in somebody less qualified to take the blame, and then after they fire them, hire the real person. And I feel like the team they have is the real team. That's my understanding of things. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I think that they did not anticipate the amount of attention and blow up and outrage and backlash that this was going to get them. And now they're probably scrambling, you know, and they're trying to figure out their next moves, which is why it's taking so long. You know, it's like last Thursday, the OGL 1.1 leak came out, you know, and the community started to go crazy, right? And Wizards of the Coast said nothing. By Monday, there was a deluge of more videos about this and more press and stuff, and Wizards of the Coast said nothing. By Wednesday, Wizards of the Coast sent out a tweet, a big old gigantic sack of nothing, saying that they would say more. And to my knowledge, they've still said nothing. That tells me something. One, the leak is true, because if it weren't, they would have reacted immediately and squashed that. But it's true. There were creators that were under NDAs that got this OGL version 1.1, and it came with contracts. I was not one of them. Just to be totally forthright, I was not one of them. But I know for a fact, confirmed by my various connections that I have in the industry, which are expanding rapidly right now because the entire community and industry of people is banding together right now, which is absolutely amazing. I love it. But I can confirm that people who are under NDAs got this OGL version 1.1, there were contracts attached to it. It was not a draft. You don't send contracts with drafts, folks. All right, so that is beyond a reasonable doubt that I know that. So if they try to deny that at this point, they're just lying sacks of crap. Well, I mean, their entire announcement was one big sack. Let's go back to this thing right here. Like the very beginning of this, the very beginning of their official announcement is a big sack of crap. We love the interest and the passion the community has for D&D. We love D&D too. Nobody who goes nuclear on the D&D community and D&D creators loves the game. Nobody who loves the game does that sort of thing. So let's be clear about that. Now, I mentioned this before. This is a decision being made by suits, by executives at Wizards of the Coast and probably Hasbro. I believe that the rank and file of Wizards of the Coast, the average person who works there, probably knew nothing about this, and they are as shocked as we are about it. So I don't blame the rank and file at Wizards. I think they love the game, and they probably have dream jobs, and they love doing what they're doing. This is the executives. These are the leadership that are to blame for this. The leadership does not love the game. The leadership does not love the game. They probably never even played the game. All right. Lord God, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Hayden says, Chris, thank you for the super chat, Hayden. Chris Cox was put in charge of Hasbro in 2022. Yeah, he got a promotion to Hasbro because D&D's revenue went to $1 billion or something crazy. So he got a promotion to the CEO of Hasbro, and then they brought in Cynthia Williams to run Wizards of the Coast. You know, it's very interesting. TSR back in the day was ran by Lorraine Williams, right? And she made a lot of questionable decisions that did not help TSR, right? That led to TSR almost going bankrupt and then being bought by Wizards of the Coast, who saved them from insolvency. So Lorraine Williams back in the day was not doing good things for the company. Wizards of the Coast bought them out, saved them, and then appropriated the brand of D&D, right? And now we bring in Cynthia Williams. I don't think there's a relation. To my knowledge, there's zero relationship. I just think that the last name is ironic, is all I'm trying to say. And now Cynthia Williams comes in and exercises the nuclear option. It's like Lorraine Williams back in the day was slowly bleeding TSR dry through various decisions at the leadership level, right? Slowly TSR was being bled dry by leadership, right? Under Lorraine Williams. Now Cynthia Williams is I can do better than that. I am a former Microsoft executive. I can do better than that. And then the nuclear silo opens up, the missile comes out, right? This missile comes out, and then she exercised the nuclear option. She one-upped Lorraine Williams. Well done, Cynthia. Well done. Anyway, Hayden, I got on a tangent. I'm sorry. Hayden says, he was talking about Chris Cox, who's now the Hasbro CEO. Hayden says that Chris Cox made this decision. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows. Some executive made this decision. That is beyond a shadow of a doubt. BK Dan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Luke, I was a perma player. You and your channel have given me the oomph to get off my tail and actually run a game. Thanks for your advice throughout the years. You're very welcome, BK Dan. I take great joy in being able to help folks. I have an entire team behind what we do, by the way, right? Lots of people work for me that help do everything. I am the public face of an amazing team. I want to be very clear. What I'm able to do on this channel and the publications that we produce would not be possible without my team. I'm just the public face. I'm the guy with the big mouth who goes on camera, right? But I know that I am joyful and honored to be able to do what I do. And I have a feeling that most, if not all of my team members feel the exact same way. I don't want to speak for them, but I wager a guess that they're very, very honored and happy to be able to help our community the way that we do. Thank you, BK Dan. Michael, thank you, member Michael. Just bought my yearly subscription to Lair magazine. Woo! Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Your integrity is worth a lot for me, and I'm sure most people here. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. So by the way, folks who might just be joining us, my team and I create a monthly 5th edition compatible publication called Lair Magazine. It contains tons of resources for game masters, adventures, digital maps that you can just plug and play, mostly on virtual tabletops of your choice. We have new monsters, we have magic items, we have traps, we have puzzles. Who here struggles to create puzzles or traps? Some of these things like take a lot of creativity. I'm horrible at puzzles. I'm horrible at puzzles. Do you know what I do when I want to run a puzzle in one of my games? I literally go to Lair Magazine and I grab a puzzle. Now, many times I have the advantage of being able to take a puzzle that we haven't published yet, because some of my players are also patrons and they might have read the puzzles, and so I go to things that we haven't published and I use those in my games. I have that advantage, but I steal from Lair Magazine, and that's the beautiful thing about this publication. The content that my team and I creates is that you can literally get stuff out of it, drag it, and drop it into your games. That's the entire purpose of it, right? Adventures and all this kind of stuff that you can use. And our goal, like my goal on these YouTube videos that I create is to help dungeon masters, to help game masters, help explain things so that they can just feel more confident and kind of know what to do as a game master. Because the official stuff we have from Wizards doesn't really help you to be a better game master, right? And so my YouTube videos help explain these sorts of things, you know? And then our publications are like the companion to that. Lair Magazine is the companion to that. It gives you the resources. So like if you're busy, you have tons of stuff you have to do in your life, right? You're super busy as a person and you don't have time to prep for your game, right? Or you have limited time to prep for your game. Well, you can go to Lair Magazine, grab an adventure, drag it, drop it, and run it. And the prep time, dude, it's so fast to prep an adventure from Lair Magazine. The way we publish stuff in Lair Magazine, and I'm not exaggerating, I'm not just trying to sell you on this. I crap you not. I used to be a tech writer. That was my vocation for like 10 years. Almost 10 years, I was a writer. That's what I did, a tech writer. It was my job to explain things, to break down technical things and make them easy to understand and use. That was my job. And so now I'm transferring that skill set, and my team and I working with me as well, we transfer that skill set into our publications so that they are easy to use, they're easy to understand, and they're easy to reference at the game table. Who has picked up an official book from Wizards, an adventure module, and like had to weed through like text after text, all these paragraph blocks, these pages of text, and you read it and you're like, okay, ready to go. Great. You get to the game table and then somebody's like, okay, I go over to that cabinet and I open it up. What's inside? And you're like, oh my gosh, where is it? What's in the cabinet? Like, where can I find what's in that cabinet? And you're reading and you're searching and you're hunting. We solve that problem in Lair Magazine in our publications. We make these things easy for you to find at the game table so that you can run a smooth game without all this downtime trying to find things and look things up. So my point is that my YouTube videos help you with game mastery. The resources we create through a Lair Magazine are the companion to that to help you as well in your games, right? And so we're kind of got this two different fronts that we do to help game masters. So I don't know what my train of thought was on that besides a sleazy plug, but if that sounds like something you might find helpful, then you can become a DM Lair patron. There's a link below, probably in the chat and stuff. There's literally one. There's been one on screen this whole time. So if you want to support what we do, I bet it's my mom. Oh no, it's not. There's this thing where my mom almost always calls me during live streams, but not today. It was somebody else. I don't know who it was. But if you want to support what my team and I do, if you believe in the content we're creating, then become a DM Lair patron and you're going to get a bunch of cool stuff every single month. It's really cool. All right, keep going. JD, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did you watch the Roll for Combat interview with Ryan Dancy yesterday in regards to OGL? It is very insightful, but it is over 2 hours long. I did not watch it. I did not. Thank you for bringing that up. I'll probably watch that at the gym. I go to the gym tomorrow and then Saturday. I'll probably find that thing and listen to it while I'm at the gym, because that's about how long I'm at the gym usually. So that's perfect. Thank you. Tegan, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm new here, but I love your passion, my dude. I'll definitely be following you into whatever KP's offering up. I don't know what KP means, but thank you. For now, I'm trying Dungeon World. I have Dungeon World. I bought Dungeon World. I read through the entire book. So yeah, I never played it, but I did read through it. So I hope that goes well, dude. There were definitely some game elements in Dungeon World that I thought were really interesting, that I kind of liked. For instance, there was one where if you fail it, the way you gain experience points in Dungeon World is by failing. Like you fail at something and you gain experience points. I thought that was interesting. I kind of, that was one of those game mechanics where I was like, huh, I like that idea. I think that's cool. So yeah, best of wishes, dude. Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. There's some swearing and politics in this super chat, so I'm gonna have to parse carefully what I read. Speaking of Cobalt Press, I just got the first Tome of Beasts yesterday from my local game shop. I saw 3 volumes. Which is your favorite? Gosh, I mean, I have Tome of Beasts 1, 2, and 3 from Cobalt Press, and I have Creature Codex. I have not been able to read a whole lot out of Tome of Beasts 3 yet because I literally just got it. I think they're all spectacular. I don't know that I can pick a favorite one. I pull from monsters from all of those books. So I don't know that there's a favorite. I have a feel, if I were to have to recommend an order to buy them in, this would be my recommendation. Okay, get Creature Codex, and then get Tome of Beasts 1, Tome of Beasts 2, Tome of Beasts 3. Shoot, go to Cobalt Press's website right now and get all 4 of them. You will have enough monsters to use in your 5th edition game for the rest of your life, probably. They are amazing monsters. And by the way, if you go directly, this is another thing I want to tell people. If you want to support third-party creators right now, go directly to their websites and order their products. Don't go to Amazon, right? Amazon takes a cut and all this kind of stuff. Like for instance, when I bought from Paizo, I bought nearly $600 from Paizo the other day. I went directly to their website because I want all of my money, as much of my money as possible, to go to Paizo. I didn't want to give some to Amazon, right? So go directly to the third-party publisher's website. Go directly to Cobalt Press. Go directly to Paizo, whoever it happens to be. Don't buy through Amazon. You're giving a huge portion of your money to Amazon. Jeff Bezos, I'm pretty sure that's the guy in charge of Amazon. He doesn't need more money. He doesn't need more money. Trust me, Amazon's doing just fine. Paizo, Cobalt Press, all of these wonderful publishers, they're the ones that are hurting right now because of what Wizards of the Coast is doing. So support them as much as you can. And by the way, you can get PDFs too. That's right. Paizo publishes PDFs. You can buy them on their website. Cobalt Press, I'm pretty sure you can buy the PDFs for all of their products on their website. Yes, that you can, because I literally bought the PDFs from their website for their Tome of Beasts 1, 2, and Creature Codex. So I know that you can. So you can also get PDFs, which are very convenient to take around with you. And guess what? Guess what, folks? Once you buy a PDF, you have that PDF forever. Guess what about D&D Beyond? You're not going to have that content forever. They might decide that Volo's Guide to Monsters, we're getting rid of that. They might decide that the Dungeon Master Guide or the Old Player Handbook or your favorite resource that you bought on D&D Beyond, they might decide to discontinue it in favor of a new thing that they want you to buy. I don't think there's any guarantee that things you buy on D&D Beyond might not change or be taken down or gotten rid of. So like, you don't have a guarantee that it's yours forever. You buy a physical book, that's yours forever, unless somebody burns your house down or something. You buy a PDF, that's yours forever. It's on your computer. You put it on Dropbox, you put it on Google Drive. You know, don't pirate things. I'm not suggesting you pirate things. Please don't, right? But that's yours forever. That's yours forever. And nobody can take that away from you. D&D Beyond can go away tomorrow, right? Dang it, my dog is freaking out down here. Well, she's stumbling around. She's blind. She can't see anything. D&D Beyond could take stuff down anytime, right? But if you buy a physical book, if you buy a PDF, it's not going anywhere, right? So Sean finishes out by saying, all my money goes to independent creators. Thank you. Appreciate that, dude. There's a super chat. I really appreciate this super chat, James. I'm not going to read the super chat though, because it expresses things that I don't want to read publicly. But I do appreciate the support, dude. Xavier, thank you for the $20 super chat. I use war dice. Roll 1 to 3d 100s, advantage disadvantage, for each army. Based on differences in tables, the DM narrates, improvs the battle swing, deleting units, blowing things up, modify based on PC's missions, politics, etc. Light, easy, and open. Thank you for sharing, dude. I appreciate that. My dog is starting to go crazy again, so she probably wants to go outside, but she had a chance and she didn't take it. So I'm gonna just wait, and we might get a surprise. I hope she doesn't, but Boydo, thank you for $5. Appreciate that. Wizards of the Coast have really drained my enthusiasm for D&D. Any suggestion on getting my D&D mojo and enthusiasm back? All my D&D games have ended and stopped. Okay, listen, you guys, listen. I don't feel like our response needs to be to stop playing D&D. That's not what our response should be. D&D is an amazing game. D&D 5th edition is an amazing game. I love it. I'm gonna keep on playing it. I'm gonna keep on running D&D for my patrons. Like, I have a Patreon tier that I literally run D&D for them. I run D&D 5th edition. I just bought Total Beasts 3. It's gonna take me at least a year or two to use those monsters. Like, I'm gonna keep on running D&D 5th edition. I will. Why? Because it's a great game. I'm not against D&D. I'm against Wizards of the Coast's recent decision and what they're doing. So I'm gonna keep playing D&D. I'm gonna keep playing 5th edition. I'm gonna keep trying to help other people who play the game as well, right? Because it's an amazing game and it's an amazing hobby and I love it. I have a passion for it. What I'm not gonna do is support Wizards of the Coast. So what I would say is, remember, like, if you're losing your passion, you're losing your interest for D&D, and you don't want to play anymore, just try to remember, it's not D&D's fault. It's not the game system's fault. It's the executives at Wizards of the Coast's fault, right? Direct your passion and your ire for them, not toward the game. The game didn't do anything wrong. D&D didn't do anything wrong. 5th edition didn't do anything wrong. It's the people in the executive suite. It's the C-suites. It's the big suits who got big, massive bonuses if they hit their numbers each year, right? They're the ones that are doing this. So I'm not suggesting you stop playing D&D, stop playing 5th edition. Like, I'm still gonna keep playing it. I just heard a weird noise from my dog and I'm getting concerned. I have a camera right there. Wouldn't it be crazy if she did something on camera? I hope she holds it. Zoe, go lie down. Go lie down. So don't stop playing D&D 5th edition. Don't stop playing D&D. Keep playing the games that you enjoy playing. But what I would suggest you consider is to stop supporting the company, Wizards of the Coast, that is doing this. Because what they're doing is absolutely morally bankrupt and abysmal and horrible. Ladybug, thank you for the $10 super chat. So it's clear that Wizards of the Coast wants to find new ways to monetize D&D because so many people just buy or steal a PDF player handbook. Can you think of ways they could, instead of the OGL, or better yet, things for friendly local game shops? I don't know, honestly. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. They're worried about people stealing PDFs and stuff like that. I mean, everybody else makes PDFs. Listen, I produce PDFs of every product that I create, every single one. My cat has decided to come up on the live stream. Well, he loves to go in front of the camera, so you're gonna get a good view of his butt right now. There we go. Thank you, Squeaky. And the next thing he likes to do is come up and actually rub the camera. And so if he starts doing that, he's gonna get kicked off my desk. I produce PDFs. Every single thing, Lair magazine, all of our Kickstarters, Into the Fey Kickstarter, the Lairs and Ledge, I produce tons of PDFs. And guess what? I guarantee you that somebody out there is pirating them. We've actually found one instance before, and we had to get it shut down. So I know people are pirating this stuff, but guess what? Still in business, still making money. I'm still able to pay my employees and my freelancers, right? I'm able to pay my bills, right? And the business has been getting better. It's a little stagnant right now, but it has had a generally upward trajectory. And I've been offering PDFs the whole time. I don't think that offering PDFs is going to kill your business. I think that the person who takes advantage of a pirated PDF was never going to buy your product anyway. The people that were going to buy your product are probably still going to buy your product. So I don't feel like pirated PDFs really actually hurts a business that much. I think Wizards of the Coast is probably just They have reasons, right? And I think they also want to push people to D&D Beyond. They want to have a digital platform with an ongoing subscription fee, right? Which they can change at any time. So I think they probably have other reasons as well, besides pirating, to not use PDFs. The old DM, thank you for the $50. I appreciate that. The old DM says, pay them lawyers, Luke. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. World Music, thank you for the $5 super chat. Anthony Peterson, thank you for the $2 super chat. Glad to hear that you're trying Pathfinder 2nd edition. Thanks, dude. By the way, I didn't mention this at all during this entire live stream, but we do have a giveaway going on right now. Hopefully we can put a link in the chat. Basically, we'll choose the winner of the giveaway at the end of the live stream, and the winner will win a copy of Into the Fae, which is a book that my team created. It was our first Kickstarter. You'll get either a copy of Into the Fae, or you can get store credit on the DM Lair store as well. I have an entire storefront where you can get all the products that my team and I create as well. Maybe we can get a link to the DM Lair store in the chat too, just in case somebody wants to check it out, but I'm not trying to pressure you or anything like that. Insider leak from D&D Shorts. Ooh. From D&D Shorts Twitter. It sounds really bad but predictable. Tweet from D&D Shorts here about Wizards of the Coast is doing. All right. Okay, Squeaky, you're done now. Now you're going down. He started to do some distracting behavior. All right, let's go see where this goes. I'm trying. I can't get that link. I literally can't highlight it. My sheet, well, I don't know how to highlight it from that sheet. All right, I'm gonna go see what he says on Twitter. Because D&D Shorts has been putting out some really good information, and on his Twitter as well. So let's see what he said on Twitter. Okay, we're gonna. I trust D&D Shorts. I think he's an upright, stand-up dude, and so we're gonna look at this right now on screen to see what he says. Let me find the right buttons. Where are the right buttons? Come on. So D&D Shorts says huge leak. Moderators, if you want to put that link in the chat, I'm okay with that too, just so people can follow it. Huge leak from an insider at Wizards of the Coast. It's what we feared. The higher ups despise us, the D&D community, and see us only as an obstacle to their money. Let me get this a little bit bigger. Subs on D&D Beyond are all Wizards of the Coast care about, so I've canceled mine. Let your voice be heard. Open D&D, stop the sub. And let's blow this up right here. Let's see. Let me see if I can download this. Save image as my downloads. All right, PNG image. Okay, cool. Well, let's go. I just want to see if I can get a better, or I can zoom in a little bit better for you, because it was not displaying super well for me. Yeah, it's not gonna be ideal, but we're gonna make it as big as we can as we look at it here. Now, this is just some. I don't know who this came from, right? I don't know the legitimacy of this, whether it actually came from Wizards of the Coast employee or not. I have no idea. I'm just taking this for the face value. I trust D&D Shorts. I think he's pretty cool, and so I'm just going to share this based upon that. Hi, I'm an employee at Wizards of the Coast, currently working on D&D Beyond, DDB, and with D&D business leaders on the health of the product line. If you want, I can provide proof of this. I'm sending this message because I fear for the health of a community I love, and I know what the leaders at Wizards of the Coast are looking at. They're briefly delaying rollout of OGL changes due to the backlash. That doesn't surprise me. Their decision-making is based entirely on the probable impact to their bottom line. 100% guarantee you, because we're all canceling stuff right now. We're already stopping to buy their products. Specifically, they are looking at DDB subscriptions and cancellations, as it is the quickest financial data they currently have. All right, folks, let's go cancel right now. Let's go cancel our D&D Beyond subscriptions right now. They are still hoping the community forgets, moves on, and they can push forward. I will never forget, ever. I'm gonna make sure that I keep reminding people. I have a passion and a fury in my heart right now for these sleazy people. I do not use adult language, so I will not say what I really think about them, because I don't talk that way. Yeah, there you go. They're hoping we forget. I'm not gonna forget. I encourage you not to forget either. I have decided to reach out because at my time in Wizards of the Coast, I have never once heard management refer to customers in a positive manner. Their communication gives me, there's a comma splice right there, but I won't hold that against you. I'm a grammar guy and a writer, I'm sorry. Their communication gives me the impression they see customers as obstacles between them and their money. The D&D Beyond team was first told to prepare to support the new OGL changes and online portal when they got back from the holidays. So this is like the beginning of January. And leadership doesn't take any responsibility for the pain and stress they cause others. Leadership's first communication to the rank and file on the OGL was 30 minutes on 1/11/23. So yesterday. Yesterday is when Wizards of the Coast put out that tweet. And so that's the first time they told the rank and file anything about the OGL stuff. This was the first time they even tried to communicate their intentions about the OGL to employees. And even in this meeting, they blamed the community for overreacting. Of course they do. They're gonna gaslight us. They're gonna gaslight us, folks. It's our fault. It's not their fault. They have good intentions. It's our fault. I will repeat, the main thing this leadership is looking at is D&D Beyond subscription cancellations. Hope your day goes well. P.S. I will be copying and pasting this message to other community leaders. All right, folks, let's do a thing. Let's go right now. I'm going to go right now and cancel my D&D Beyond subscription. It has been something that I just haven't done. I've been really busy and stuff, but we're going to go do it right now. I'm going to show it on screen as I do it, but I need to make sure that I'm not giving away any personal information that I don't want to share with anybody else, because I don't know what it's going to show on screen. And I don't know what impact this is going to have to my games. I don't, because I run an online game for my patrons that uses D&D Beyond, and I am not going to pay them any more money. So here we go. Let's go here. I think I can show this on screen. I don't think there's any private information that it shows. So here we go. I'm on my subscription management screen right here. So oh, I have to sign in? Why do I have to sign in? I was signed in. Why did it kick me out? Hold on a second. Why is it doing that? It's not letting me cancel. So here I am, the DM Lair. This is me. You can see verified. This is my account, the DM Lair. Now I'm going to go to my subscription. And I'm signed out. Are they not letting people down? Whoa. Are they turning off so you can't unsubscribe? Okay, let's try it. So my current plan is right here. I have this plan. You know, I'm about to pay them. I paid upfront for the entire year. And it gives me all this kind of stuff, right? I'm not going to be able to share any content with my players. I don't know how that's going to impact my games, but we're going to deal with it because I'm not giving them my money. This is the hero tier. Would you like to cancel your subscription? Yes. Are you sure you want to cancel your annual D&D Beyond Master Tier subscription? You will lose the ability to create unlimited characters, use early access tools, and play with publicly created homebrew on this date. Feedback. Okay, so I have subscription is too expensive. Subscription lacks needed features. It's not for me. Prefer alternative service. Poor customer. I'm not interested anymore. Yeah, I think I am not interested anymore. Or well, no. Let's do other. Let's do other. Okay. I refuse to give any more money to Wizards of the Coast due to their recent decisions regarding the OGL. Kiss my money goodbye. Please consider what you are doing to the D&D community who has uplifted you over the years. It's not cool. I'm trying to be professional. I'm not gonna act like they're acting, right? I'm not gonna be that way. So I should probably take out "kiss my money goodbye." I should probably take that out. That's probably a little bit too aggressive. I want to be professional. I refuse to give any more money to Wizards of the Coast due to their recent decisions regarding the OGL. Please consider what you are doing to the D&D community who has uplifted your bottom line over the years. It's not cool. You are stabbing us all in the back. I love D&D. I will not support Witches of the Coast going forward. I will not financially support. No, I will not support. I will not support Wizard. There you go. I think that pretty much sums it up. That's probably pretty good. That's probably professional enough. I think that's professional enough. While still expressing how I feel about this. All right, here we go. Cancel subscription. Your subscription has been canceled. Your plan will become inactive on the next pay period. Awesome. Thank you. There we go. We're done. I've been meaning to do that for like a couple days now. I'm busy. Lots of stuff going on, folks. So there you go. I promise you, I did not like save that for some live stream drama. I'm not like that. I'm just, busy. Okay, let's go back to questions. We're about to wrap up. I'm going to try to go through these questions as quickly as I can. If you haven't joined our giveaway yet, please do so. We're giving away an Into the Fae, a hardcover of Into the Fae, which is my team and my first Kickstarter. And we're also giving away store credit on the DM Lair store, one or the other, to the winner. So if you want to sign up for the giveaway, there should be a link down in the chat where you can do so. Okay, Ladybug, thank you for $5. Have you tried Fate? No. Or other cyber game systems? No. I own a fun relay. I run an FLGS with my hubby in Roanoke, so we don't carry MTG because we can't compete with Star City. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for sharing. Here comes Squeaky again. The Acidic Sniper, thank you for the $5 super chat. Apparently Wizard of the Coast will be making an OGL 1.1 discussion video at 3 p.m. You know what I want to see? I want to see them drop the corporate talk. I want them to drop the dramatic music in the background. Like I fully expect, if they actually do that, if that's true, and I'm not saying I don't trust you. I'm just saying, if they actually have a video that comes out talking about the OGL and stuff, I fully expect some sort of corporate like PR. Their legal team and their PR folk have been like grooming this statement and working on this statement for some time now. I fully expect some sort of corporate talk. You have to like try to translate what they're saying and you don't really understand it. And it's couched behind a whole bunch of terms like, we love D&D and we love the community. We're committed and we're devoted and da 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 da. I expect that sort of thing. I really hope they drop the facade and they just talk like real human beings. I don't think we're gonna see that. Jaspers, thank you for the $2 super chat. Due to the OGL, are you going back to scrumming? No. I'm confident that there's a path forward for us. We have really good legal representation and I have an amazing team. We're gonna figure things out. Gretchen, thank you for $5. Really sad at all this. Relatively new D&D fan and player. Love Critical Role and its storytelling. I even got my 68-year-old dad into D&D via Critical Role. That's awesome. That's amazing. Welcome, Gretchen. D&D is amazing. I think you're gonna love it. You might not love the company that makes it though. That's the unfortunate thing. Squeaky, quit rubbing the cameras. See, he began running the cameras. Conquest Comics, thank you for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. I do agree that we should help support independent creators all over. If you want to help support an independent creator, please go out and do so. It could be anybody. Paizo, Cobalt Press, my team and I create Lair magazine for our patrons. There's a link to my Patreon down below. We have Kickstarters that we publish as well. And there are lots of other wonderful people creating content. I do ask that you support your favorite independent creators right now, because we probably all have legal fees that we're going to have to pay as we fight against these changes that are absolutely abysmal. So please support independent creators. Squeaky, you got to stop rubbing against stuff on my desk or I'm going to throw you down. All right? He's over there rubbing stuff. CD, thank you for $5 super chat. Will or could this sink D&D value so low that Wizards of the Coast sells it off? And whoever buys it gives it a proper OGL? I don't know. I think we would be wildly speculating at that point. I just don't know. Ross, thank you for the £5. Squeaky, you can't rub against the cameras, right? That's off limits. Thank you, Ross. Paizo are looking for developers and publishers to sign. Okay, now you're going down. You're about to get kicked off. Big turd. Paizo is looking for developers or publishers to sign to support the development of an open license. There was a Tinker's Tavern video. He shared a link. I'm aware of that. I've actually already signed up for that. So, my representative, my legal counsel, shared a link to developing an open GL, and I'm pretty sure that it's the exact same one that you're referencing. Here's the thing, and this is just hypothetical and just speculation and stuff, but a lot of the big names are getting legal counsel and they're taking steps to do things right. And one of the things, and developing a truly open OGL, a truly open license, is something that I am supporting. And my legal representative has shared some information about their plans to go forward with doing that, and I'm going to be supporting that. And I've sent out for more information. I don't know how much I'm allowed to share at this point. I skimmed through the emails from them. There was a whole bunch of big names that were on board with this, and I skimmed through emails and stuff. And I need to make sure I'm careful about what I say, because I got to make sure I'm good to go on some of this stuff. But I'm supporting this, absolutely. I will support anybody, that wants to make an open gaming license. It's truly open, and that no company can come later and be like, so if Paizo's doing that, rock on. Have you checked out, do not want to, thank you for the $2 super chat. Have you checked out the core D20 system? No, I'm not sure what that is. Philip Wen, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Can we cancel them tomorrow? Indestructible is planning a mass cancellation tomorrow on January 13th. Yeah, I'm not, this isn't what I do. I'm not a cancel culture guy. Okay, this isn't what I do. That's not who I am. Let's go cancel them and stuff. That's not me. Okay, listen. I'm gonna talk honestly and openly about my feelings, about what I think about things. And I'm gonna be transparent with you. I'm gonna tell you what I think. But to be like, let's go cancel them and get them, and I don't. That's the whole cancel culture thing and stuff. It's like, yeah, yeah. Dale, thank you for the $5 super chat. I have canceled my D&D Beyond subscription and will not be renewing it. Thank you, Dale. I've done the same. I literally just did it on stream. Ladybug, thank you for $10 more. I appreciate that. I would love to see RPG books come sealed with a code for the PDF or digital content included. I think a lot of people want that. I've seen that a lot, that desire. I like having both a physical book and a PDF. I would pay a little extra to have the code included. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. It's a good thing. UB10, thank you for the $5 super chat. I just canceled my D&D Beyond, doing my part. Thank you, sir. 3 August Caesar, are you going to be switching to covering other game systems? So here's the thing, you guys, I don't know exactly where I'm going to be taking this channel in the future, to be perfectly honest with you, because the fact of the matter is that D&D is amazing, and I love D&D. I love playing D&D, and 5th edition is an amazing system. I love 5th edition. It's great. I keep playing it. I'm going to keep on playing it. And just because Wizards of the Coast is doing something horrible and abysmal doesn't mean that people like me are going to just stop playing D&D overnight, which means that there's going to be lots of other people out there that, although they decide to stop giving Wizards of the Coast money, they're going to keep on playing the game. And that's great. I'm going to keep on playing the game. I'm just not giving Wizards any more of my money. And so all of those people who keep on playing D&D 5th edition, they still need help, right? They still need resources and stuff. And so I want to keep on helping them. I don't want to stop helping all of these wonderful people that had nothing to do with Wizards of the Coast being greedy. So I'm going to keep on creating content that's going to help people that I think that I want to help, right? And that's going to be people playing D&D 5th edition, right? That's going to be dungeon masters, game masters. Now, will I start giving preferential treatment to other systems? Will I give more, space on my channel and stuff to talking about Pathfinder, to talking about other systems? I don't know, maybe. I mean, the fact of the matter is I'm literally going to start playing a Pathfinder 2nd edition campaign. Like what I do in my own personal time just happens to tend to leak over into my content as well. So maybe you start seeing some Pathfinder content. I don't know, maybe not. But the fact of the matter too is that a lot of my content, if not the majority of the content I put on this YouTube channel, is mostly system agnostic. Anybody who's running a fantasy role-playing game, maybe even any type of role-playing game, can find a lot of the videos and the content that I create on the channel here useful for them in helping them as game masters. And so I feel like that's already something I've established. It's probably not going to change a whole lot. But I'm going to keep on helping. Squeaky has returned. I'm going to keep on helping game masters running D&D 5th edition, because there's going to be a lot of us out there. They're going to keep running it because it's an amazing game. We just aren't going to give any money to Wizards of the Coast. You can't rub the cameras. But I'm big. He's a big boy. He wants to rub the cameras. Blake, thank you for the $2 super chat. I bought all the books on D&D Beyond a couple months ago, shaking my head. Yeah, I think there are a lot of us in that position. Boris, thank you for the $10 super chat. My group had switched to Pathfinder 2nd edition a while back, but I'm always interested in more resources to add into the game. Is Lair magazine easy to convert to Pathfinder 2nd edition? Thanks for all you do. I don't want to lie to you. I mean, I've read through most of the Pathfinder 2nd edition book. I've played in one game with it. My inclination is that you're going to have to do some work if you want to convert Lair magazine content to Pathfinder. You're going to have to do a little bit of work. Probably if you take an adventure from Lair magazine, a lot of the elements of the adventure are going to work for you. What you're going to have to rebalance for are the encounters, the enemies. You're probably going to have to find the appropriate enemies from the Pathfinder system, and you're going to have to balance the encounters. Some of the game mechanics are going to be a little bit different. Like if I call for a wisdom saving throw, you're going to have to go to, what is the equivalent in Pathfinder? Fortitude. They have fortitude, they have reflex, and then they have will, I think. So if I say a wisdom saving throw, you're going to have to be, will saving throw. And if I say it's a DC 25, which in 5th edition is a high DC, that might not be very high in Pathfinder. You might have to change that into something higher. And so yes, there's going to be some lifting if you want to convert Lair magazine to Pathfinder 2nd edition. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be easy. I don't know is the honest answer. There'll be some work. I think you could probably figure it out. But yeah, just take all that into consideration. Denol, thank you for the $5 super chat. I just want to say thank you. You inspired me to DM in May of last year. It sucks what's going on, but thank you for helping me in my DM journey. Thank you. I appreciate that, dude. And you're very welcome. It's what my team and I have devoted ourselves to doing. Dakota Wise, thank you for the super chat. Is the 6th edition D&D, 1D&D, dead on arrival? Did Wizards of the Coast just sabotage the release of 1D&D 6th edition? Did they just sabotage it? I feel like they may have. Can you imagine when they open up the playtest feedback? It's not actually a playtest. That's not here now, though. We're not going to go there. But can you imagine what the feedback is going to be when they open up the playtest forms, right? They're going to get so many people that are just going on there and talking about this topic right here, the OGL. Like, it's going to be a hot, flaming mess, right? They're going to be banning people. They're going to have rules where it's like, you can only comment based on the playtest. And if you say anything about the OGL, we're going to ban you. You know, they're already doing that. My understanding is that they have like an official Discord or something, and it's already forbidden and a bannable offense if you talk about the OGL. And so, yeah, they're gonna get tons of feedback through their playtest about the OGL, and they're gonna be banning, and it's gonna be a crap show. It's gonna be a crap show. They probably just destroyed their release for 1D&D. They probably completely sabotaged it. I know I'm not buying it. There's no way I'm gonna buy it or support it in any capacity whatsoever, man. They can just take their 1D&D and their greed and go sit in the corner, because I'm not supporting them. Mark G, thank you for the $2 super chat. Mark says, I canceled my sub to D&D Beyond. I'd rather send the cash to you. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. The best way to support my team and what we're doing is to become a DM Lair patron. There's a link below. There's a thing on screen as well. You're going to get Lair magazine. You're going to get lots of cool content. In February, we're publishing a mass combat system that's rules light. So if that's something that interests you, we have lots of really cool stuff for our patrons. So you can check that out. And we do appreciate your support. Philip Wen says, I meant mass cancellation of our D&D Beyond subscriptions, not a cancel culture move on social media. Respect your stand against cancel culture, though. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I totally support a mass cancellation of D&D Beyond subscriptions. I think I just like encourage people to do just that, like multiple times over the course of this stream. So yes, absolutely. I totally support folks who want to cancel their D&D Beyond subscription. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm at the end of the super chats. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna draw the winner to our giveaway. So I'm gonna go over there right now. I'm gonna draw the winner to our giveaway, and we're gonna see who won. All right, drawing winners to the giveaway. And here we go. And it was thinking. All right, I have a name. I just need to confirm a couple things, make sure we're kosher. And it looks like we're good. Okay, Flame Reptile. Flame Reptile. I don't know if you're still in chat, but you won. I will be sending you an email, and we'll get the details sorted out of whether you get into the Fae or DM Lair store credit. So thank you, Flame Reptile, for hanging out with us. You just won, buddy. Good job. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got through all of the super chats. I don't think I missed any of them. I appreciate all the support. Please support your third-party publishers at this time. We need you, whether it's me or whether it's somebody else that you like. It could be Paizo, it could be Cobalt Press. It doesn't matter. Support third-party publishers. Take my suggestion, my humble, unbiased suggestion, is that you take whatever money you were going to send to Wizards of the Coast and you redirect it to somebody else who deserves your support, because Wizards of the Coast does not deserve your support right now. They do not. Thank you very much, everybody. I love you. Appreciate the support.